greatest damn show on YouTube. Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Y'all ready? Let's see. What's up, Yosemite? What's up, Laurie? Hold on. What's up, Mama Money? Let me make sure everything. We finna get started, man.
Welcome to the greatest damn show on YouTube.
Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? What we doing tonight, chat? We got the young Republicans just proved the Democrats right. We got UK protests, no king protests, elections, and more. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. Call your auntie, uncle, and your cousin. Tell them plug live, and he running his mouth. I don't care if you far left, far right, liberal, conservative, Marxist, fascist, alien, NPC. Get your ass in. We finna have them conversations tonight, and we got an action-packed episode. We got an action-packed episode, Chad. Don't even trip, man. What we got up here, man? We got the young Republicans, man. They messed up. They messed up big time. I see a lot of people trying to say, oh, I don't care what a bunch of college kids. Hey, man, the young Republicans are between the ages of 18 and 40. It's some 40-year-olds around here. 35, 30. We finna get into it. Also, we got a long form. Pierce Morgan had Destiny, Officer Tatum, a couple other people on this show. We're going to get into that. Birmingham, over there in Birmingham, across the pond, man, they were protesting against Keir Starmer's digital ID. Also, they got I believe that's the picture I got above me. Is that the picture I got above me? Oh yeah, that's Mike Johnson and Bobby Walker. They're saying that Bobby Walker, Mike Johnson's friend, said grape is epic. I believe that's in those elite Telegram messages from the young Republicans. Also, I got some miscellaneous clips of travelers in Africa. We got Chicago. They're calling it a war zone, saying active duty Marines may be needed. They had a standoff between DSH agents after a car crash over there, chat. We got other messages from Telegram's founder, Pavel Durov. He's saying that France was trying to control the chat. He's coming out speaking about that. We also got Italy flipping sides, talking about leaving the EU and agreeing to a trade deal with the US. They're saying Giorgia Meloni, you know, the girl that's always rolling eyes, looking around, man, says she will be ignoring the EU guidelines on trade, man. We're going to get into that later on in the show. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We got an action-packed episode coming up, man. Lala, you got them plain lays ready? Where that baby go there? We in intro mode.
My car if it don't come with no neck. I told my niggas I don't like the beef cause that don't come with no check. I told my niggas to mark my word, I guarantee that I'm next. I got the arms of a bodybuilder from the way that I flex. Might just hit the strip just to go blow me a check. They know what the fuck I'm on. They say that they got some of the best gas, they call it Southern Georgia. Chain on chain and ice on ice like Adam Sandler, I'm water boy. I know I'm all in the head. That bitch laying in my bed. Wait till I give her a spread. I'm a master with the head. Don't let these social fool you. These niggas broke, I know that they ain't bought it. Ain't got no car but talking shit. Okay, then little walkie talkie. I told that bitch to come home. I ain't got time for no bitch that's healing. Puff the blood, she called me daddy. And I'm screaming out no dick. I'ma make sure that she come. I'ma fuck her good with my tongue. I know the night is still young. So baby, let's get it in. I know just how she like it tonight. She spicy, she added a friend. They ain't identical, but they fuck alike. So in the bed, I call them twin. I call them twin. Bed, I call them twin. Bitch and shoot a shoot. 1+1=2. What you tryna do? Go back for back, check a swoop for swoop. Either way it go, I'm on. Either way it go, I'm gone. Brody them just got like 100 on 'em and they tryna get them gone. What you call it, Jet Wet? What's the name? And he put it in his song. Brody them got the purest powder, it's pink, you know this shit is strong. No diddy. I'm the type of nigga that turn my bitch up in each city. Brody cut out, we celebrating, we hit the gritty. I feel like a baby, I'm tryna get that milk up out them titties. It's no question who young and the latest. If you want your bitch, then when she talking, hear her. If I want the bitch, I'm going Pittsburgh. Still her. I keep some on the side, I don't have trust in just the main bitch. Suck me up while I'm driving like damn, I'll die by this lane switch. Shit, different type of free, so we ain't never got a tussle. Throw it back like Miss London, and some of your life be hustle. Yeah.
Oh man, double tap the screen, shut a live out, chat. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. I hope everybody's having a great night. We are now on the nighttime episode, man. We about an hour and a half away from Plug After Dark, man. What it do, puzzles? You been in Discord voice chat all day long, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. We got an action-packed episode. What's up, Wyoming, man? We're going to get straight into it. This is Mike Johnson above me, and the guy next to Mike Johnson is Bobby Walker. Allegedly, he said grape is epic. We got the Young Republicans. We got their text messages being leaked. We know that Jay Jones, the Democrat, I believe he's running for Attorney General or something over there in Virginia. They were coming at him about those text messages calling for the deaths of his political opponents and their children. We called them out about that. We seen Miss Winsome Earl get on Abigail's ass about that situation, wanting her to denounce it. We was like, hey, look, man, we ain't got no room for that shit in this political atmosphere. Now we got the Young Republicans saying all kind of crazy shit. Now, I expected them to say shit about black folks. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. I expected there to be a slavery joke, watermelon joke, but I didn't know it was this deep, chat. I didn't know they was talking this crazy. And I see a lot of people saying, oh, I'm not going to clutch my pearls and do all of this over some college kids talking and shit. I'm going to keep it real. They saying the Young Republicans are between 18 and 40. Now, y'all can pass the buck, say you don't give a fuck because they're kids or whatever. What about the 30-plus crowd? What about the 25-plus crowd? Now, if y'all want to give a pass to the 18, 19, even 20, 21-year-olds, all right. Whatever, dude. But what about these 30-year-olds, these 40-year-olds? This was a nationwide text, man. These are supposed to be the next leaders of the GOP. They're in there talking this crazy, talking about they just secured a Trump endorsement. And somebody did leak this to Politico. I'm going to read some of the messages. It says thousands of private messages reveal young GOP leaders joking about gas chambers, slavery, and grape. It says everyone that votes no is going into the gas chamber. When do we bring that side out? You're giving nationals too much credit and expecting the Jew to be honest. Somebody said, great, I love Hitler. They said, are you going to do whatever it takes? Someone said, if we ever had a leak of this chat, we would be cooked for real, for real. When do we start bullying, dude? It was grape. He also hates the Jays. They love the watermelon people. Boom. They're unalived. This girl is fully graped. Stay in the closet. F-A, you know that word. They also said, I like to go to the zoo. I go to the zoo if I wanted to watch monkeys play ball. I'm ready to watch people burn now. Also, we're officially under consideration for a Trump endorsement. Oh, they talking crazy in here. Everyone that gets endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. It's crazy, chat. All right, man. This is from Politico. These messages were leaked to Politico. It says, New York, leaders of the young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing away. They referred to black people as monkeys and the watermelon people and mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about graping their enemies and driving them to suicide and lauded Republicans who they believed support slavery. William Hendricks, the Kansas Young Republicans vice chair, used the words nigga. Hold on. used the words nigga and nigga, variations of a racial slur, more than a dozen times in the chat. Bobby Walker, the vice chair of the New York State Young Republicans at the time, referred to grape as epic. Peter Gianti, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote in the message sent in June that everyone that votes no is going into the gas chamber. Gianti was referring to an upcoming vote on whether he should become chair of the Young Republican National Federation, the GOP's 15,000-member political organizations for Republicans between 18 and 40 years old. That's why I was telling y'all, some of these people is 30s, 40s. We not finna pass the buck off like everybody's fucking kids. We called Jay Jones out about that bullshit he was talking about. We gotta call these people out, man. We can't pass them, but some of these people 30 all the way up to 40 years old. Let's just keep it real, chat. It says, I'm gonna create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. We only want true believers, he continued. 2 members of the chat responded. It says, everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber, and anyone that endorsed but then votes for us is going to the gas chamber. When do we start bullying, dude? We have a solid 3 people who can probably have them want to jump. If they vote for us, why would they be gassed? When do we bring that side out? I'm going to create some of the greatest psychological torture methods known to man. In a reply to why, if they vote for us, why would they be gassed? They said, we only want true believers. Can we fix the showers? Gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. I'm ready to watch people burn now. We gotta pretend that we like them. Hey, come on in, take a nice shower, relax. Boom, they're unalived. Can we fix the showers? The gas chambers don't fit the Hitler aesthetic. Joe Malagino, who previously identified himself as general counsel for the New York State Young Republicans, wrote back, I'm ready to watch people burn now. Annie Katie, the New York Nationals committee member, said. This exchange is part of a trove of telegram chats obtained by Politico, spanning more than 7 months of messages among the young Republican leaders in New York, Kansas, Arizona, and Vermont. The chat offers an unfiltered look at how a new generation of GOP activists talk when they think no one is listening. Since Politico began making inquiries, one of the members of the group chat is no longer employed at their job, and another's job was rescinded. Prominent New York Republicans, including Representative Elise Stefanik and State Senate Minority Leader Robert Ord, have denounced the chat. Festering resentments among young Republicans have now turned into political recriminations, including allegations of character assassination and extortion. Yeah, that's crazy. It's still more to this article, but I'm going to stop there and I'm going to say, J.D. Vance is not denouncing this shit. I'm just going to put it out there. J.D. Vance said, look, I'm not saying shit to these kids. I'm not going to be clutching my pearls when nobody said anything about Jay Jones. That's what he said. Said that the Democrats didn't say nothing about Jay Jones, so he will not be denouncing or clutching his pearls about this shit. So J.D. Vance is in support of the shit that was going on in that chat, just like Abigail is in support of what the hell is going on with Jay Jones. This is crazy. This is a crazy political atmosphere, chat. It says the 2,900 pages of chats shared among dozens of millennial and Gen Z Republicans between early January and mid-August chronicled their campaign to seize control of the National Young Republican Organization on a hardline pro-Donald Trump platform. Many of the chat members already work inside government or party politics. One of them serves as a state senator. So they got state senators in these chats and everything, man. That's crazy. Together, the message revealed a culture where racist, anti-Semitic, and violent rhetoric circulate freely, and where the Trump-era loosening of political norms has made such talk feel less taboo among positioning themselves as the party's next leaders. The more political atmosphere is open and liberating, like it has been with the emergence of Trump and a more right-wing GOP even before him. It opens up young people and older people to telling racist jokes, making racist commentaries in private and public, said Joe Figert, a Texas A&M sociology professor who has studied racism for the last 60 years. Yeah, we're going to leave that shit there. This is crazy. Alright. I'm so sorry to be offended by these insensitive and inexcusable language found within more than 28,000 messages of a private group that I created during my campaign to lead the Young Republicans, he said. While I take complete responsibility, I have no way of verifying the accuracy and am deeply concerned that the message laws in question may have been deceptively doctored. So he's saying that these messages may have been doctored. Chat. At least one person in the Telegram works in the Trump administration, Michael Bartels, who according to his LinkedIn account serves as a senior advisor in the Office of General Counsel within the U.S. Small Business Administration. Bartels did not have much to say in the chat, but he did not offer any pushback against the offensive rhetoric in it either. He declined to comment. A notarized affidavit signed by Bartels and obtained by Politico also sheds light into the intra-party rivalry that led to the Restore Your Roar Room Telegram chat to be made public. Bartels references Wax as well. He wrote that he did not give Politico the chat and that Wax demanded in a phone call he provide the full chat log. When I attempted to resist the man after providing some of the requested information, Wax threatened my professional standing and raised the possibility of potential legal action related to the alleged breach of a non-disclosure agreement, Bartels claimed in the affidavit. My position within the Young New York Republican Club was directly threatened. Walker, who now leads the New York State Young Republicans, touched on a similar theme, saying he believes portions of the chat may have been altered, taken out of context, or otherwise manipulated, and that the private exchanges were obtained and released in a way that clearly intended to inflict harm. He also apologized. They said words like faggot, retarded, chat, F-word, retarded, and nigga appeared more than 251 times. Yeah, that's crazy, chat. We finna move on in the show, man. We'll touch back on that later. That is crazy, chat. I'm not gonna lie. That's crazy. Alright, man. The Young Republicans, they fucked up over there, chat. I'm not gonna lie. They showed their hand. They showed their hand over there, man. They showed their hand. It's crazy. They showed their hand like that. Let's move on though, chat. We finna get back into the show, man. We finna get into the show. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, chat. Oh, this is a group of people that decided to take a vacation in Africa. Some Europeans went on a vacation to Africa. And I'm going to tell you, chat, if they was climbing on my damn car like that, my rental car that I just got from Avis or Budget or Dollar, wherever the hell I got that rental car from, man, if they was climbing on my shit like that, I'm going to have a problem with it. Like, whoever the travel guide is or whatever, man, they need to be doing something, man. Get these people to fuck off my car, bro. Like, what? Yeah, Chad, I'm not fucking around like that, man. Like, look, bro, I stop at a light, man, and they peeking in my car like that, man. It's crazy, bro. Like, get the hell back, man. You talking about it's a rental car, man. Alright, listen, try that shit in the South. I know they somewhere else and shit, man. That shit don't go on, man. Look, now I understand that they was out here trying to sell something like, what do they call it in Atlanta? They got the water boys, you know, they out there selling waters and shit, man. But look, they're on top of the car, like they hiking a ride on my shit. No, get the hell off, man. What is we talking about? Now, if they would have hit the brakes real hard and they would have been tumbling down off the damn car, everybody would have said they was fucked up. Why would they do that to them? Shit like that. Well, if my black ass was up there climbing on cars and shit and somebody hit the brakes and I tumbled off, you know what my parents would have said? I shouldn't have been the fuck up there. I shouldn't have been up there. What the hell are you doing up there anyway, plug? That's what my parents would have said. The hell is you doing up there, man? It's crazy, man. I would have been a little upset, man. They was climbing on my damn car. We finna move on though, chat. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. While we still outside of the country, where the hell is Greta at, man? Didn't y'all tell me Greta was an environmentalist, right? Where is Greta at? Greta, we need you to go over here and protest, man. Greta, we need you over here protesting because this shit is not good for the environment. This shit can't be good for the environment, Greta. Like, I don't know what country this is in for sure, but Greta need to get her ass over there immediately. Like, they put up blockades to where they can't throw the shit in the river. But, look, Chad, do they not have landfills or processing facilities? Where the hell is Greta? Greta, we have your next mission right here, man. We got to do something about this. The world might not last, man. We talking about saving the dolphins and the bottle caps and shit going around. Look, this is probably where most of that shit is coming from. Like, I don't think any of that's biodegradable, man. Somebody tag Greta in this shit, man. We need Greta to get the hell over there, man, right now. Straight up, man. I'm not gonna lie, chat. If this was in my town, I'd be mad as hell at the city. This shit like this makes me glad to be an American. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, don't get me wrong. There are some bad parts of town that look disgusting. But this shit right here, man, you got somebody to complain to at least. Over there, I don't even think they got nobody to fucking complain to about this shit. Over here, at least we can complain to somebody, man. Damn, bro. Where the hell is Greta? No, they let Greta go. They let Greta go. Greta got out of there, man. Greta need to, where is this at? The Yamuna River, India. Greta need to be carrying her ass over there to India next. Straight up, the mission continues, Greta. We got a lot of work to do because this shit is terrible. Look, man, just terrible. What do y'all think it smells like, chat? What do y'all think the side of that road smells like? Just damp and wet and funky and mold and what do y'all think it smell like over there, chat? I'm not gonna lie, man, bruh. Like, it's pissing me off just looking at it. It's pissing me off just looking at it, man. Shit is crazy. Where is Greta, bro? Alright, chat, so this is Agent Stream. He over there in China with somebody, Nina Lin. But I didn't know this either. In China, if you wear a green hat, that means you're a cuck. That means you just got cheated on. So that's the difference. That's why I tell y'all over here, and I'm going to keep reiterating it, man. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. That's why I'm going to keep reiterating it over here, chat. You got to know where the fuck you at in this world, man. He wore a green hat over here in China, and he got people stopping, taking pictures, laughing at him because they think that his wife just got banged, man. They think he just got cheated on. Wearing a green hat over there means you're a cuck. You just got cheated on, man. Look.
Why? Yo, some nigga told me there's a cuck over here. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Okay.
Why would you not tell me that?
About something?
No, why would you not tell me that?
I completely forgot that you had a green hat on your head until now. It means that you got cheated on.
I know.
Yeah. In Chinese culture, maybe we gotta get you a different hat.
I know that. I know. But I'm saying now, why would you not? Why am I finding out at 1:30 p.m.?
I don't know. I kind of forgot.
Is it the hat? Is it the hat?
I said, 为什么？好看吧？
He said, yeah.
嘿，为什么拍他 he laughed. Well, he laughed and he turned
I
around.
need a new hat. I need a new hat.
Yo, you gotta go forehead. I ain't gonna lie, you gotta go forehead.
I need a new hat.
You have to go forehead.
I need a
Take
new
off the
hat. I
hat.
need a hat.
Yo,
they're calling me Agent 22,
Yo, put it here.
bro.
Put it here. Just put it here.
Oh, hell no. Why would you not tell me not to wear a green hat?
What?
Yo, some nigga told me there's a cup over here. I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about.
Okay.
Why would you not tell me
Can I tell you
that?
about something?
No, why would you not tell me that?
I completely
This shit
forgot that you had a
crazy,
green
man.
hat on your head.
I ain't gonna lie, you gotta know where the fuck you at and what you got going on. Chat, did y'all know green hats in China meant that you got cheated on? Put yes or no in the chat. Yes or no in the chat. Did y'all know green hats meant you got cheated on, man? We gonna move on though. This is I found this story interesting. I had seen it a couple months ago, but it's back resurfacing. Listen to this dude, man.
Far West Texas, started noticing some unfamiliar people around town. That's not so unusual. There's fewer than 100 residents in Loving County. It's the least populated county in the country. The newcomers also were all African American. Loving County residents are overwhelmingly white.
So they finna move into this county, man. It's a county in Texas. It's like 100 people living in this county. And it's a doctor guy. He's a doctor. And he bought 5 acres out there. And he telling everybody to move out there. And they finna take over the government, man. They finna go over there, take over the government, man, and get some shit cracking, man. I want to know how y'all feel about it. This county has 100 people living there. A guy, pretty much bought some parcels of land out there and told everybody, hey, just come move out here, man. We finna take this shit over, man.
That the new arrivals look different. It's also what some of them were saying that really grabbed people's attention. They were saying they intended to take over the county government. The plan? Move in enough people to start winning political offices. That sounds really boring. Who cares who's county commissioner? But Loving County is an unusual place for...
Listen, chat, they only have 100 people in the county. They move, think about it, they got 100 people there. If they move 150 people there, they can win whatever the hell they want to win. Let's be real. 150 people and you just secured the county.
It's in the middle of the Permian Basin, meaning it collects millions and millions of dollars in oil every year. In fact, its government is one of the richest per capita places in the state. Another thing about Loving County, it has a history of really loose voter registration enforcement. Small population, big budget, easy voting. It's the perfect place for a small group of people who want to attempt a political overthrow. The guy behind the scheme is named Dr. Malcolm Tanner. Early this year, he bought up a couple of 5-acre parcels about a half-mile outside of town. It's down some rough caliche roads in the middle of nowhere. No water, no electricity, no trees, really hot. But then Tanner, who's from Indiana, started promising free houses on the land to anybody who wanted to come out to Loving County. It's not really clear how that'll work. Tanner's background's a bit of a mystery, and he's a controversial figure in places he's done business. But one thing he does have is a big social media presence. One of his posts about free houses in Loving County was viewed 2 million times. Over this summer, he posted dozens of videos promoting the plan, and people started moving. By late August, about 30 people had made the move from all over the country. They've set up a settlement of RVs and tents on Tanner's land. A dozen have already registered to vote. That's potentially enough to win a county commissioner's seat. So what will happen next? You can learn more about the ongoing attempt to take over Loving County in my story on HoustonChronicle.com.
So yeah, man, they doing something, man. You say you moving over there. They doing something, man. Now the voter registration, their process is looking like it might be a little bit shaky. But if they get enough people in there to win all of them seats over there, man, might be crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it might be crazy. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. How do y'all feel about that? Are y'all with that or y'all against that, man? Let's go across the pond right quick. I don't know if Mama Money went to sleep or not, but they say it's going on in the Netherlands. They have an anti-immigration protest in the Netherlands, man. Let's go across the pond, see what's going on, man. Here go another angle of it. Let me cut that damn music down. But they say this was an anti-immigration protest, man. Oh, they out there, dang. They out there yelling, who the F is Allah? It's crazy. Oh, yeah, they out there deep in the Netherlands, chat. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's wild, man. They deep out there. Are they doing Hitler signs? Oh, no, they doing this. Damn. They out there tripping, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. They out there on one. They deep too, Chad. That's a lot of people. We are the Netherlands. Netherlands, man. Y'all remember when they was kicking the police cars and shit over there, man? They not bullshitting, man. I'm not gonna lie, chat. They not bullshitting out there, man. They was kicking the police cars and everything. They saying this is a story from the Netherlands too that I was gonna bring y'all. This girl right here. They say 18-year-old Syrian Muslim girl Ryan al-Najjar was tied up with tape and drowned in a ditch in the Netherlands by her father and brothers for being too westernized. When they were arrested, they defended themselves by claiming honor killings are a part of their culture. Man, yeah, this girl right here got taken out by her parents, man. Her father and her brother for being too westernized, allegedly, man. Doesn't sound like they bullshitting over there, chat. It doesn't sound like they bullshitting. In other news, chat, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm not gonna lie. Mike Huckabee, I don't know what the hell you got going on right now. I don't know if you just having a good time, because y'all got the ceasefire done and shit. But we got Mike Huckabee out here on the damn guitar, bro. And then they're singing Sweet Home Alabama, but it's a damn remix. It's a Sweet Home Alabama remix that they singing about the Torah. I don't know what Mike Huckabee got going on. It seems like it could be a lot better things going on right now than Mike Huckabee up here rocking out with bass. Look, listen.
Then we start from just 2 days and we are through. Torah scrolls keep on turning. Just 2 days and we are through. Then we start from the beginning.
I'm trying to figure out how the hell Mike Huckabee from Arkansas wound up on the damn stage with a guitar in his hand, jamming out to a Sweet Home Alabama remix as the damn ambassador to Israel. Like, how did we get here? How did we get here? What series of unfortunate events played out to where we have Mike Huckabee, the damn ambassador to Israel, jamming out on the stage with a guitar in his hand to a Sweet Home Alabama remix, bruh? What?
Hashem's holy words begin anew. We all have come to help Hatzalah.
I'm just trying to figure out how we got here. I'm a little confused, bruh.
right here in God's holy.
Like he's living the dream, Chad. I'm not gonna lie, he is living the dream right now, man. He's living the dream. This is crazy, man. This is a crazy chat. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. I don't know what the hell Mike Huckabee got going on right now, man. I really don't. Yeah, that threw me for a loop, Chad. I'm not gonna lie. When they sent me that, I said, man, I know that ain't Mike Huckabee out there with the guitar, man. I looked a little closer. I said, man, that's Mike Huckabee, man. What the hell they got Mike Huckabee out here doing?
Is flipping sides and abandoning the EU in order to get a deal done with the US. After meeting with President Trump, Giorgia Meloni of Italy said she will be ignoring the EU's guidelines on trade and will instead do what's best for Italy and work out a trade deal with President Trump, who has already said that they will 100% get a deal done with Italy and not the EU. The EU set strict rules on trade, basically forbidding anybody from making their own deal, which is exactly what Italy will be doing. She also said support for Ukraine from Italy will be cut, and that Trumpers persuaded her to build up the Italian military again. She also said controversially to make the West great again, and also make Italy and Europe great again. Meloni is a hardcore Christian conservative, and she says that Rome is the capital of Christianity, so that Italy is going to defend it and act like it. President Trump reaffirmed the U.S. and Italy's cooperation, saying that our alliance goes back thousands of years. Make sure to follow me for updates regarding all European American.
That's crazy, man. Let me see if I can find it. Here you go. This is from Concerning Citizen, man. This is from Concerning Citizen over there, man. That's crazy, man. I seen that lady. She always rolling her damn eyes. They say she act like she be high sometimes, man, but she do always roll her eyes. She rolls her eyes a lot. She doesn't. It's like she don't like nobody that talks. She doesn't like anybody, man.
News. The story shaking Europe tonight. Italy is threatening to walk out of the European Union. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni didn't stutter. She looked straight at Brussels and said, "That's enough. My country is leaving." Her words were calm, but they cut like a blade. She accused EU leaders of turning Europe into a private club for elites, making decisions behind closed doors while ordinary towns suffer. She spoke of lies, manipulations, and unfair quotas forced on Italians. No more silence, Meloni declared, vowing that Italy would no longer pay for the mistakes of others. The impact was immediate. The euro slipped. Markets trembled. European leaders froze in shock. Meloni framed it not as rebellion, but as a rebirth Italy reclaiming its sovereignty and dignity, free from what she calls chains. Across the continent, the echo is deafening. Some say this could be the beginning of the end for the EU. Others argue it might mark a new era, where nations break free and act alone. So what do you think? Could Italy really slam the door on Brussels? And if it does, can the European Union survive without one of its founding members?
Man, I don't know. This shit's getting crazy, bro. Like the macro is getting crazy, Chad. I'm not gonna lie.
Man,
it's getting crazy out here.
Imagine
Chad.
being able.
Man, it's getting crazy, man. If they leave the European Union, you know, it kind of is what it is, you know, but that's going to put a lot of pressure on that Russia-Ukraine situation. That's
Actually got
a lot of pressure on that Russia-Ukraine situation. Pierce Morgan had Destiny and Officer Tatum and a couple other people on here, man. We finna check this out, do a reaction. Y'all double tap the screen, shut a live out. We're 26 subscribers away from the next sub goal. We're shadow banned. I need y'all to understand the importance of this shadow ban. Double tap the screen for me. That's how you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. That's how that little counter goes up, man. We 26 subscribers away, man. I hope everybody having a good night. We about an hour away from Plug After Dark, man.
Guys called me and said that I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it.
He created a relationship with the Israeli prime minister that no other president has in decades.
I have an idea.
Thank you, Gino.
Mr. President,
Why don't you give him a pardon?
I think Trump addressing the Knesset just proves how absurd this whole conversation is. He bragged about moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. He rewarded Israel's illegal annexation. He praised Miriam Adelson while also calling her Israel first.
Seems to me the MAGA base is increasingly anti-Israel. We see that with Tucker Carlson, with Candace Owens and others. What's that about?
Well, let me correct you on that. I don't think it's anti-Israel. A lot of it's anti-Semitic. I mean, people are losing their minds.
We're talking about giving the Nobel Peace Prize, hopefully, to a guy who is declaring war on his own cities.
Destiny, you won. You have Trump derangement syndrome. Congratulations.
So are you suggesting that you would allow trans athletes to compete in women's sport in the Olympics if you were governor?
Look, everyone.
I'm a little over the clip farming. Like how she's like, Destiny, you won. You have Trump derangement syndrome, and she holds out the little card and shit. Like, we seen the guy come on last week or a couple weeks ago with the bacon strapped to his leg. We seen the ISUPK guy into it with the racist dude that had the hard ER gun. Like, I'm a little bit over the clip for him, man. Like, this shit was cool, but golly, bro, like, leave that shit to the Twitchers, bro. Like, when they leave that shit to them, bro.
Competing in a sport, and they come with abilities, and perhaps there could be, kind of a different league for them.
I think we may just have seen another California Democrat candidate torpedo their campaign for governor. I mean, extraordinary.
President Trump's historic role in ending the Hamas war has drawn plaudits from even his most embittered opponents. Hillary Clinton commended Trump for brokering peace, while President Obama was roundly criticized for failing to mention him in his long statement. Politics is turbulent and, above all, fickle. But history won't really have much to say about the daily squabbles we spend so much energy debating. It will, however, vividly remember the remarkable scenes of the past few days in Israel and what may prove, and it's a big may, to be the biggest deal of Trump's life. So is it time for Trump's harshest critics to recognise that even their least favourite president, if not human being, is capable of doing some good things? Is mutually lauding Netanyahu a good look, including among the MAGA base? And does Trump deserve the Nobel Peace Prize? Joining me to debate all this is from the Office Tatum podcast, Officer Tatum, TV personality Emily Austin, host of the Tara Palmieri show, Tara Palmieri, and Nadine Kizwani, the activist in the Within Our Lifetime protest group. And here in the studio, making his debut in my studio here in London, is the streamer Destiny. Destiny, welcome to you. And welcome to all my guests.
What the fuck Destiny doing in London, bro? I'm just asking, man. What the fuck Destiny doing in London?
Joining remotely. Well, Destiny, let me start with you, given you're here. I was watching it from early this morning, and it's very hard not to get caught up in the euphoria of the hostages being released, the families, their joy on the Palestinian side, an end to the bombing, certainly for now, the return of thousands of prisoners from Israeli jails and so on. It was a day of great celebration. Did you feel celebratory today?
It's always good when war ends. It's good when conflict ends. It's good when hostages are brought home. I think regardless of how that came about, I think it's always a good thing to celebrate.
What's the downside for you?
It depends on what part we're talking about.
No, his real name's like Steven.
But I think that, if you're looking for some kind of comprehensive peace between Israel and Palestine, this deal doesn't even come close to it. Remember, this is the second time the president has told us there will be peace in the Middle East. The first time was the Abraham Accords, and clearly that didn't work. So, Trump is really good at putting together these plans that are not plans at all. They're just like backbones of plans.
But when you say it didn't work, the Abraham Accords, it stood with the countries that signed up to the Abraham Accords. They have had a good working relationship with Israel. As a consequence of that, Saudi Arabia has indicated it would like to join them, but it can't when this war was raging, understandably. They're looking to expand the Abraham Accords. The amount of unity from Arab countries and Muslim countries like Turkey to this peace plan has been pretty unanimous in the region. So I'm not quite sure if this plan is unworkable, what would have been a better plan?
Anything that actually leads to a long-term permanent solution between Israel and Palestine. When you say the Abraham Accords worked, that's because they were involving countries that weren't really fighting with each other. I think that a lot of the Israeli peace process with other Arab states is just trying to extricate Palestine from any overall peace arrangement with any other country. The Abraham Accords did that. They kicked the can down the road. October 7th happened. It was just like the second Intifada after the failures of Oslo 1 and 2. And now we're getting a deal that kind of looks like an Oslo 3 peace framework where it's a bunch of vague stuff. Nobody really knows what it means. And basically Israel has like infinite reign to kind of like play with it how they want. Like, what does it mean to de-radicalize the Palestinian Authority or de-radicalize the Gaza Strip? Who knows?
Emily Austin, I felt a lot of joy seeing the hostages after 2 years of utter, unrelenting hell finally being released. 20 of them back to their families, and the scenes with the reunion with their families, incredibly moving. I defy anyone with a heart to not be moved by it. And I also found the scenes of jubilation amongst the Palestinians and seeing families returning, albeit back to their bombarded homes, with at least the hope now of being able to rebuild their lives, hopefully. All of that I found very euphoric. I had to say, I did blush, not at Donald Trump being celebrated in the Knesset, but by the kind of mass adulation for Netanyahu, because I don't think he showered himself in any glory this year. Explain why you think I'm wrong.
Well, honestly, I always say my fight as an American Jew is to make sure that Israel and Jews are safe and there's not all this false information going around in America. But needless to say, Israel is very torn between supporting Netanyahu or not. There's a joke that Israelis support Trump more than they support their own prime minister, which right now definitely feels that way in Israel. I will add, I don't think Netanyahu gets any credit when he does something right at all. I think whether it's something as precise as the beeper attack, he'll never get the pat on the back for doing things the right way. When it's his involvement in signing the agreement and it's Hamas who wasn't signing it, Bibi will always take the hits for that. Now, whether you like him or not, I just feel like you need to give credit where it's due.
But I think, to be honest, I thought, Emily, he did get a lot of credit for the Hezbollah pager attack. That was widely seen.
I would like to have thought so, but I would
just say, just to finish that point, I would say that he was widely credited with having launched a very precise, very carefully planned, expertly executed dismantling of Hezbollah using pages that did not lead to mass civilian casualties. Similarly, I thought the attack on Iran, which many people thought would be catastrophic and launch World War III and so on, actually turned out to be a short-lived war, which was very precise again in its targeting, and again did not involve mass civilian casualties. The problem comes with the way he has prosecuted the war in Gaza, which has been to do none of.
Now, what you mean ain't nobody talking about that? I hope you ain't talking about the Epstein files, because shit, I'm looking at Representative, what's her name? Anna Pauline, who? Anna Pauline Luna. I'm looking at her shit right now. She said that she got the Epstein files, man. Not the Epstein files, but the JFK files. My office just received word from the Russian embassy that the ambassador from Russia to the United States will be hand-delivering government RL's findings on who assassinated JFK to my office. 350-page document. We will be uploading as soon as we receive them. Important to note, Congress attempted to obtain these files in the 90s and was denied. So yeah, it's not the Epstein files, it's the JFK files. My bad.
To be not remotely surgical, but to be, in many people's eyes, utterly indiscriminate, leveling 80% of Gaza to the point of total destruction, killing 70,000 people, including many tens of thousands of civilians, including over 20,000 kids. It seems to be a completely different way of waging war against your enemy to the way that he has rightly, in my opinion, got due credit for the way he dealt with Iran and Hezbollah.
Yeah, I'm a numbers girl. I like to think not emotionally, but with facts. And I recently found something really interesting, and I'd love to hear your opinion on it. According to UNRWA's numbers, which I'm reluctant to trust to begin with, according to them, 73,000 structures were destroyed, right? 68,000 people were dead. By the way, I'll add the Hamas spokesman said 58,000 militants were killed, so that math is not really making sense. But per UNRWA numbers, if that is in fact true and there were 73,000 structures destroyed and 68,000 people dead, then their ratio of structure to person, I'm talking buildings, was less than one person. It's 0.9 people per structure.
Emily, you've seen the pictures. You've seen, I mean, look, one of my biggest bugbears about this is Netanyahu refusing, to this day, to allow international journalists to operate freely in Gaza to verify what's been going on there. But we've all seen the very few aerial shots that have come out in the last few weeks and months, and they've been utterly devastating. You know, this idea there's just a few structures or one for one and so on, it's for the birds. They have leveled 3/4 of Gaza.
Pierce, I can't deny the facts. I saw the videos of Gaza. Anyone who's denying that it's inhabitable is lying to you. However, I will add that when Hamas has done a phenomenal job since 2005, embedding themselves into civilian infrastructure, into schools, into nurseries, into hospitals. Al-Shifa Hospital was a Hamas HQ, for God's sake. They don't really leave Israel with much of a choice. Listen, I know you're critical of Netanyahu, but I've yet to hear anyone give me a better answer than if they were in your shoes and you are fighting a military that has fully embedded themselves into infrastructure that belongs to civilians, do you now lose a war and surrender because they've made it really, really difficult to attack? I'll tell you what Israel has done. They've done them the courtesy of dropping leaflets every single time they're going to make a strike, which, by the way, I'll add, no other military will ever do that in any form of war. They have let aid in despite people denying that. That's a fact. They've let tons of food and aid in. Again, no other military will ever do that.
Well, they waged a 3-month... Well, hang on. They waged a 3-month illegal blockade of food and aid in February this year, which was a breach of all conventions and is, in my opinion, was a war crime. I mean, I think a lot of stuff...
Before those 3 months blockade, they allowed enough aid in to last them.
Well, you know what? It should never have happened. It was that you cannot do that.
Why is it Israel's responsibility to feed them to begin with if they're in a war?
It's not. It's a war crime. It's a war crime to have a blockade. That's the point.
October 7th was a war crime too.
Yes, it was. But you won't get Emily. You won't get any argument from me. I've always said that Hamas are a despicable terror group who committed one of the worst atrocities of modern times, and they can have no role in Gaza going forward. It's not just how the news is told, but what's left out, which concerns me. And when a friend of the business, it is incumbent on the only democracy in the region to actually behave at a higher level. And I've always taken issue with Israel's claim that they behaved on a superior moral plinth to any standing army. I disagree with you. Well, the best way to prove it is to let the journalists in. It's very easy to make all sorts of claims.
Journalists will have died in Gaza because when they are going to announce that they're striking and Hamas is not going to allow people to flee, Hamas would have given the journalists the courtesy of fleeing?
Emily, that's not the concern of the Israeli government. They're not concerned about the safety and welfare of journalists. It is down to the individual media companies who employ these journalists about their risk assessment. But the fact remains that no journalists from CNN, from BBC, from Reuters, from AP, from any reputable news agencies are allowed into Gaza to report freely on what's happened. And until they are, the suspicion remains that they are up to stuff which they don't want the world to see. So we will see. I fear we're going to uncover a lot of very bad stuff.
There's videos coming out of Gaza left and right. I think the safety of the journalists was their concern.
Well, they've killed a record number of journalists on Palestinian journalists. So I don't think.
Unfortunately, Pierce, in Gaza, they throw on a vest that says journalists.
Yeah, but actually, many of them were genuine journalists who were not members of Hamas who were brutally killed. And that is
Pierce, are you aware Israel drops leaflets every time they're going to commit an airstrike and Hamas does not let them evacuate?
Listen, you won't get me defending Hamas about any of this, but the idea that all the 200 plus journalists had it coming because they were fake journalists is bullshit.
I never said that.
Well, you're implying it when you're saying they're wearing the shirt.
The journalists, they all had working cell phones, by the way. The claim that Gaza has no electricity was completely a lie. The leaflets warned them. They literally had sirens letting them know to leave. How much more of a warning should Israel give before they're going to strike? Which, again, I'm going to repeat.
I'm going to bring other panelists in. I think it's more not about the warnings. It's more about how much more bombing does it take to make your point. Let me bring in Tara Pameri. I mean, Tara, this has been a very, I've tried to be fair with this war from the start. I always recognised Israel's right to defend itself. I felt it had a duty to defend itself. I think any other country in the world that was attacked in that way would have done something similar, certainly early on. It's the scale.
We know who getting that 30 shekels of silver, don't we? We know who getting that 30 shekels of silver.
And particularly this year, to me, became increasingly indefensible. When you start blockading and starving a civilian population in the way that Israel was doing, when you just carry on just relentless bombardment and destroying most of Gaza, when you're not achieving your aims of hostage release or defeating Hamas, none of this made any sense to me. And when you have people like Smodrich and Ben-Gvir on the Israeli government, openly talking about ethnic cleansing, kicking all the Palestinians out and taking the land, I began to feel that the mission creep was changing very, very fast.
Thank you, Too
Strong. That's why I'm so thrilled that we got to where we did today, really, unexpectedly. But what is your overview about this war?
I agree with you. If there was nothing to hide, then why not let international journalists in? I mean, international journalists have covered every war. They're covering the war in Ukraine, Iraq, Afghanistan. They take risks, they die. But that is the way that people find out what is actually happening on the ground there. The fact that you couldn't get aid, the blockades, people traveling for miles, for days, for just like chickpeas. I interviewed a father in Gaza that was traveling for days for that. It's just so inhumane that it's hard to even remember the start of the war, why this even started, which was an incredible aggression, horrible act of Hamas, just attacking Israel brutally, stealing hostages and killing them. But then when you get into the atrocities against the Palestinian people and how many children have died, you've really lost the plot in so many ways. And then, there are some of these videos where you see Benjamin Netanyahu sort of like berating these creators that are pro-Israel, and they're saying you really have to protect us more in the press. You have to be pushing our side more and more. You realize it's really become a propaganda game in a way. And Israel lost.
$7,000.
The world is condemning them for war crimes. UN organizations saying it's a genocide. It's a wonderful day that the hostages have been returned. It's an amazing day. It's an amazing celebration. But I do think that, we can't look at Netanyahu as some sort of hero in all of this.
No.
We have to understand that this is a breaking point.
We could, I think. I mean, one of my biggest...
What to do, Carlos?
On both sides I've had this, right? So early on when I was defending Israel's right to defend itself, I had a lot of extremists on the Palestinian side saying I was a pro-Zionist monster and so on. And then this year I've had the complete reverse, where I've had very extreme Zionists who have come for me in big numbers, and their tactic has been to brand any criticism of Netanyahu or his government, which some of whom are absolute headbangers like Ben-Gvir and Smodrich, that if you criticize them at all, you must be anti-Semitic. You must hate Jewish people.
As a Jew, I want to say that's foolish.
Yeah.
I don't correlate criticism with anti-Semitism. I just want to make that very clear.
I know you would never do that, but I'm sure you've seen it, Emily. It's been a really insidious thing to have to experience, because I have never had anything but positive thoughts about Jewish people, about Israel. Actually, I love the country. I've been there. And the idea that you can't criticize a government. I made the point. I led the campaign against the Iraq war in the UK. I was running the Daily Mirror newspaper, which was a Labour supporting paper. I took on the Labour Prime Minister, Tony Blair. It didn't mean I hated the British people or that I hated my country. It just meant I hated what my government was doing in my name. So this kind of thing that you must be a Jew hater if you criticise Netanyahu, I found disgusting. Brandon, let me bring you in here. There's been an interesting split in Trump's support. The base, it seems to me, the MAGA base is increasingly anti-Israel. We see that with Tucker Carlson, with Candace Owens and others. Others are very much pro-Israel, but there's a real split there. What's that about?
Well, let me correct you on that. I don't think it's anti-Israel. A lot of it's anti-Semitic. I mean, people are losing their minds. And I almost had a stroke.
What's up, Rachel?
The capitulation to the foolery in Gaza and Israel. Israel don't owe them anything. Why are we confused about this? They came over and they slaughtered all these people. They took people hostage. They don't owe them nothing. They could starve them to death if they wanted to. That's their decision, in my personal opinion, because they're reasonable. They send out leaflets and the lies about the media. They don't allow journalists in. Where's all this propaganda coming from?
They don't allow.
I see videos of kids. I see buildings coming down.
They don't allow
propaganda.
Look,
well, listen, but it's a real reason.
It is actually a fact they don't allow journalists in.
No, but
unless you are a friendly journalist embedded with the IDF, you're not allowed in.
It's inconsequential. Because
it's not though, is it? Because how do we know the truth?
I believe it's inconsequential. You know the truth. You see the propaganda coming out of Gaza. You see, and then journalists get killed and people are complaining.
Propaganda is not true.
And people complain.
I see propaganda on all sides, and in my experience of propaganda in war, the only way.
What is the truth?
No, but hang on, Brandon.
Find out.
The only way to counter propaganda from all sides in a war, because it comes from all sides, the only way is to allow independent journalists to do their jobs.
They don't do their job in America. So they lie every day in America. So I don't really care about that. At the end of the day, we will see now that the war is over.
Let's talk about people getting $7,000 imposed.
Let me finish, young lady. Let me finish. And I will give you a chance to speak. Let me finish, young lady, please.
Today's show is sponsored by Oxford Natural, makers of the Optimum Day.
And so what I'm saying is that I think it's inconsequential. I think people are jumping out. They don't have to feed these people. They could have starved them to death if they wanted to, but they didn't.
That would be a war crime.
They were you can say it's a war crime anyway. Who cares?
I'm not saying
they came over there and killed all these innocent people in Israel.
Yeah, but Brandon, it would be a war crime.
You can say it doesn't matter. They killed all these people.
It does matter.
Hamas is embedding themselves. Hamas is embedding themselves in the population.
Yeah, Hamas are disgusting. Hamas are disgusting, and they commit endless war crimes.
What do you expect them to do, Pierce? Yeah, how do you fight a war?
I'm sorry,
when they're embedded in the people?
But there are international rules relating to warfare, and if Israel breaks them, they are as culpable as Hamas or anybody else.
Did Netanyahu commit war crimes trying to fight this war when you have Hamas embedded in
I believe he may well have done, yes. I do believe that.
What else is he going to do then? Not fight?
No, you can fight, but you have to abide by the rules of war.
Well, what are you going to do?
This is why we have
the rules of the war.
Brandon, nobody's answering his question.
This is why we had the Geneva. This is why we had the Geneva Convention set up after World War II.
What do you do then?
Brandon, after World War II, they set up a Geneva Convention because the world concluded that a lot of the stuff that went on in World War II simply crossed a line, and therefore, for future wars and conflicts, you had to have rules of engagement recognized by the international community. And if you don't have those, then anything goes, and anyone can do anything. And you, I'm sure, would agree with me that way insanity lies, right? And total mayhem.
I agree, Pierce, but I think that this was a unique situation where you're fighting an enemy that's embedded in with the people. They literally have headquarters at hospitals. They're having military weapons and doing all this stuff. Some of their journalists are terrorists. Some of the people are terrorists. They're not even fighting with uniforms on. How do we even know who's a combatant and who's not a combatant? When they release the results of how many people that died, they're not telling you how many people are combatant. When they say that there's children that died, the range of children is from 17 all the way down. How do we know how many 17-year-olds that they recruited to fight on the side of Hamas? So it is ridiculous to act.
Wouldn't we actually find that out if we had journalists in there?
Exactly.
Wouldn't we actually know the
the journalists going to have a birth certificate in their hand? Give me a break.
No, if we had journalists in there that were from every country, all over, you can have your journalists on. So you don't think they're independent?
They will be getting killed. They will be dead. They will be starved.
Brandon, let me just interject for a second. I want to point something out I noticed after the ceasefire is that before the ceasefire, if you looked at videos of Gaza, it appears plenty of them were coming out, not from journalists, from civilians in Gaza. You saw no men in uniform. It's almost like Hamas did not exist in Gaza. I actually thought Israel had gotten rid of them. Suddenly, after Israel withdrew its troops, every single man, actually let me add, teenager and adult man suddenly has a machine gun and is in uniform. Excuse me, the woman in the red, I forgot your name. Actually really respect your opinion.
Tara.
But I do believe that these Hamas militants, if you're a journalist in Gaza and they're dressed as regular innocent civilians, you don't know who's who. So what are they going to do? Okay, you look like a normal kid. You look like a normal kid. You could be Hamas, I'm not sure. They were literally, as Brandon's trying to say, embedding themselves in civilians, not just in their resources, in uniform as well.
Yeah, they obviously were doing all of those things. Let me bring in Nadine. Nadine, you and I have talked a lot during this war, often in some very contentious circumstances. But today, how do you feel? I mean, the war appears to have ended for now. Palestinians are returning to what remains of their homes. There appears to be a joyous feeling of at least the war is over and they can try and get back to their lives. They haven't been expelled, as many on the Israeli government would have liked to see. So do you give Trump any credit for this?
I mean, I sincerely hope that the war is over. Palestinians have been through enough, through starvation, famine, entire bloodlines wiped out, families that'll never be, the same again. And I just think these ceasefires aren't necessarily proof of peace. So far, they've just been pauses in the project of genocide and ethnic cleansing that began over 75 years ago with the Nakba and continues today. Under Trump, countless of Palestinians were killed. They were starved. They were displaced. And the so-called ceasefire plan didn't even include Palestinians, negotiators at all in the construction of the plan. Instead, Palestinians were forced into submission through starvation, blockade, and these U.S.-administered Gaza humanitarian fund sites where people were rounded up and targeted by Islamophobic biker gangs. And now part of these deals demand the disarmament of Hamas, which is literally impossible, since most of the weapons that Hamas happens now were delivered by Israel itself in the form of unexploded ordnances and munitions dropped on Gaza. So it feels like, this is all just a setup to extract the hostages, which Hamas said early on in October 2023 that they were willing to release all of the civilian hostages in order to just continue killing people in Gaza.
Y'all say Officer Tatum doing blackface. He saved from Fort Worth. I think he saved from Carlson County.
Just last night, another Palestinian was killed, was shot by Israel, and also proxy, militias that are being funded and protected by Israel in Gaza are also continuing to kill Palestinians, like the Palestinian journalist Salah al-Jafrawi, who was murdered. And I think another thing that is important to mention here is that Israel systematically
You're a compulsive liar.
$7,000, we get it. You get your pay.
Keep saying that. That's a lawsuit. Do you have any proof? Do you have any proof?
Let me finish.
Do you have any proof?
Not to mention that Israel systematically destroyed more hospitals, schools, water and sanitation systems,
Hamas headquarters,
and other essential infrastructure right before withdrawing from Gaza, leaving the
Hamas headquarters.
Okay, don't all talk at once. Nadine, let me ask you a question. Out of interest, what should Israel have done on October the 8th by way of responding to the worst terror attack of modern times?
What should Palestinians have done?
No, that wasn't my question.
Constant killing.
That wasn't my question. What should Israel have done?
You're not, she your lawyer. I'm not sure why she's continuously interrupting me. I know you get $7,000 to sit here and spew propaganda, but that's not going to work.
Nadine, aren't you a lawyer? Don't you know what defamation is? Do you have any proof that I have ever gotten one penny from Israel? So if you're going to make an accusation, back it up with facts. Do you have one receipt that I received $1 from Israel, or are you just yapping at it
to his question right now? I know
Oh, she called her out about the money, y'all. She called her out about the 30 shekels of silver.
Fine.
What should Palestinians have done?
That wasn't my question. That wasn't my question. What should Israel have done?
She your lawyer. I'm not sure why she's continuously interrupting me. I know you get $7,000 to sit here and spew propaganda, but that's not going to work.
Look at Officer Tatum.
Don't you know what defamation is?
Look at Officer Tatum.
Proof that I have ever gotten one penny from Israel? So if you're going to make an accusation, back it up with facts. Do you have one receipt that I received $1 from Israel, or are you just yapping at it
to his question right now? I know
Nadine, I think it's a fair. Hang on. It's a fair question, Nadine. You made an allegation against Emily that she's taken money to talk up for Israel. Do you have any proof of that?
This is widely reported, and I would like to actually focus on the.
Now, do I think they're getting paid $7,000? Yes, I actually do. But if they are not, It's delayed gratification, man. Officer Tatum putting them 7,000s in the bank, man. His platform bigger than that. You was offering 7,000 to these people that had 4K, and I'm Officer Tatum, man.
You talked about in regards to Gaza.
On the allegation.
At the end of the day, I don't.
Well, just for the record, Emily, have you accepted? Have you been paid, Emily, to talk up
Not
in
one
Israel's
cent.
favour?
Zero. Nothing.
Okay, so we've clarified that. Nadine, answer my question though. What should Israel, not the Palestinians, what should Israel have done after this appalling terror attack?
I think the only way that there can be peace in the Holy Land is through accountability and through justice, not through genocide. By committing this genocide, Israel hasn't.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the attempted genocide that Hamas waged. So let's talk about that first, right? What should Israel have done following the mass murder of 1,200 of its people, the wounding and maiming of 7,000 more, and the kidnapping of over 250, including Holocaust survivors and babies? What should Israel have done? What would have been the proportionate correct response by Israel after that attack?
Negotiating a hostage exchange and in return for the Palestinian hostages would have saved a lot of bloodshed on both sides. And let's not forget that Israel employed the Hannibal Directive on October 7th. Much of the damage that has been done could only have been carried out by Apache helicopters, and
all right, but do you think what Hamas did? Okay, but do you think what Hamas did on October the 7th was justified?
You constantly ask me this question every time I come on your show as some sort of gotcha. I think that repression and oppression breeds resistance. I'm not living at the opposite end of a barrel of an Israeli gun. I'm not having my home destroyed to rubble. So I'm not going to tell people that have constantly faced this prior to October 7, 2023, that, resisting it is wrong or how they resisted is wrong. That's not my place.
A terror attack is not resistance. It's a terror attack.
Pierce, this is clear. This young lady is a propagandist.
How should have Israel
responded does not have common sense.
I'm asking you, Piers, now. Yeah. How should Palestinians respond to 75 years of displacement? For over 20 years,
that's 75 years of displacement.
The blockade is not just a few months. Okay, it's funny. You're such a hypocrite. You're talking about me interrupting you, and now you're constantly interrupting me. Piers,
okay, because it's getting crazy what you're saying.
To constant incursions on Gaza, to the destruction of refugee camps in the West Bank, to the denial of the right of return, to countless war crimes. How should have Palestinians responded to that?
Well, my answer is that committing a terrorist attack of that magnitude is never, ever resistance or defensive.
Okay, so what's the answer? So how should they resist?
Well, no,
you're just saying what they shouldn't do.
I'm making the point that an act of terrorism is never the correct response, ever. Gold is up by more than 40% in value since the beginning of this year, and today's sponsor,
and they killed innocent people. And then she want Hamas to be fighting and killing innocent people, and then when Israel come back and whoop their socks off, she act like it's a genocide. They haven't been committing a genocide. I don't know what world you live in or any other person that's living in that think this is a genocide. You don't feed people in a genocide. You don't provide aid in a genocide. The population doesn't grow during a genocide. 75 years, the population has grown. What are you saying? Are you guys smoking or what? 75 years, the population has grown. That's not a genocide.
That's not what the definition of genocide. Could you even define genocide? You clearly can't even define genocide.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Name another genocide.
Let me just say something. The reality, and I've learned this by talking to genocide scholars, is that no country or state has ever been found guilty of waging a genocide. I was surprised by that. I didn't know that. The bar for a genocide is extremely high, and that's why so far no country has ever been found guilty or convicted of committing or waging a genocide. I didn't know that before this war broke out, but I do know that now. So the bar is very, very high for even in Rwanda, they did not in the end classify that as a genocide. Now we might have a view that that's wrong, but my view of what's happened in Israel is that if you believe people like Smodrich and Ben-Gvir, they were operating on a basis of ethnic cleansing, seizing the opportunity created by this appalling attack to actually expel Palestinians, kick them out of their homes and take their land. That's ethnic cleansing but I wouldn't categorize that as a genocide, which is how many people have tried to make me call it. But that's my explanation. Let me bring Destiny back. You've been waiting.
Right, so they're trying to say the Holocaust wasn't a genocide. What the hell? I guess it was a Holocaust.
Patiently, Destiny, which I appreciate. Look, what people are talking about now is the future, whether there can be lasting peace. If it turns out this is the catalyst for lasting peace, and a lot of that may come down to the Arab and Muslim countries here, who seem to be very actively involved in trying to get a lasting peace through this. How much credit would you give Donald Trump? Should he get the Nobel Peace Prize next year? Many thought he deserved it this year. It is unusual to have a Republican American president who wants to forge peace, not war. But he talks about peace all the time. He's trying to find it in Ukraine. He seems to have found it in the Middle East. I'm not sure what else he has to do, given that Barack Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize 8 months into his tenure in his first presidency for basically making a couple of fancy speeches. But it seems people don't want to give him the Nobel Peace Prize because he's Donald Trump.
Yeah, I don't think Donald Trump has an interest in peace. He just wants to get rid of problems and move on to the next thing. Again, we already had peace in the Middle East with the Abraham Accords, and we saw where that led. Now we've got whatever the ceasefire is, the 20-point plan, I think is kind of a joke. He came in saying that he was going to figure out all these issues on day one. He hasn't. He let Israel wage basically maximally the war they wanted to wage. They were able to eliminate essentially every enemy, all the top brass in Hamas, twice. They bombed Qatar. They got the United States to bomb Iran. They, Syrian regime, Bashar al-Assad, his regime collapsed. They killed Nasrallah. They got, rid of Hezbollah. The idea that Trump has come in and brokered peace after Israel has essentially eliminated all enemies, and then the peace that was brokered is this insanely one-sided favorable deal to the Israelis. I feel like they're just setting themselves up for some other terrorist attack in the future, and then we're all going to be scratching our heads, looking around like, I can't believe this is happening again.
Tara,
Destiny, you won. You have Trump derangement syndrome. Congratulations.
Well, at least Destiny's here prepared to talk about it. The people.
You know what? Nadine is right. $7,000. I see it now. There's the. Is that a monthly payment or a yearly payment?
Honestly, I wish I got it. I really, really wish I did. If someone else is making it, I would love the directions of how I can get the money too. But thus far, I haven't been offered, nor have I received. But thank you again for.
Told y'all she was paying it forward. Everybody was looking at me crazy like, I would approve it, man. She just said it. I wish I was getting it. If you know how to get it, let me know how to get it, man. She putting in that work early. This is a damn job interview for her 30 shekels. This is a job interview for the 30 shekels, man. Straight up.
Okay, we clear. To be clear, you just basically accused me of having Trump derangement syndrome. I think my criticism is pretty pointed. There is no concrete plan for what this is going to look like afterwards. Israel got to end the war. They got to eliminate all enemies.
Thank you, Too Strong.
To do damage to the infrastructure of
By
the
the way,
West.
they didn't. Hamas is everywhere, all over Gaza, flaunting how they've won this.
What has Israel been doing for 2 years? They're still everywhere. How many more places do they need to bomb?
Do you see the videos coming out of Gaza that Hamas is cheering and parading?
Well,
do you not see what's coming out of there?
I don't know how much more time you need. I don't know how many more bombs you have to drop. At some point, you have to. Your war is over. You figured it out. You can't.
At some point, Hamas needs to surrender and demilitarize. Did you ever think about that?
Oh well, a complete surrender, demilitarized would have been a good thing for Trump to arrange more than a year into his presidency. So that's why I don't give him any credit for it.
All right, Tara, let me bring you in here because you're probably, I would say, the neutral member of the panel in many ways. It does seem there is a double standard about Trump. Nobel Peace Prize, credit for forging peace. Do you think there is a double standard?
I do think, like you said, noted that President Obama got the Nobel Peace Prize in 8 months. It's probably more of a symbol in a lot of ways than what it actually represents. Will this actually lead to peace? I think he should apply again.
Nah, Amy, I disagree. They damn sure care about 7,000 because it's not just a one-time thing. I think the way they broke it down was it'll be 7,000 per post. Each creator can get up to 500,000 per year. So it's not just. I think it's over a span of however that breaks down. You know what I'm saying? 500 to 600,000 per influencer at 6,100 to 7,000 per post over the course of the rest of the year. So yeah, it's about 500,000 up for grabs, man. Allegedly.
application date was around January when he was not even inaugurated. How could he be,
Yeah, them 7,000s add up. It's 7,000 per post. So while y'all saying 7,000, it's 7,000 per post. I don't know if y'all know what the average salary is across America, but people making 100,000 or better in the top 10%. I'm just gonna put that out there. So 7,000 per post. Do about 20 of those, man, and you're doing better than most of the country.
His name forward before he's even president yet. And even in this case, it's a little early days. I think we need to see if there is actual peace. I mean, next week, this could all be broken. As we've said, Hamas has yet to give up its arms. Gaza is still occupied by Israel.
Yeah, there are lots of unanswered questions, but I do find it extraordinary that Bernie Sanders, for example, so vocal about Trump, right? Last week, in the last 7 days, 16 anti-Trump posts on his X account. He hasn't mentioned the Middle East at all. Bernie Sanders, a man who ran for president, hugely big figure in the United States political arena, hasn't mentioned this on his feed. All he's done is relentless Trump bashing about other stuff. And I'm like, it's so transparent that, you talk about Trump direct.
What's crazy is it's not even about the followers. They had people on that post that was from I think the smallest creator that was involved was 4,000 followers. The biggest creator was 3.3 million. So they're doing micro influencers and macro influencers. Netanyahu akin to being a war. This is the eighth front of their war is social media, specifically TikTok and X. He said it, not me. He said he's treating it like a war. What do they do during war? They fund it. And they said he said it. He needs creators to speak on his behalf strongly. He said even with the letter with Charlie Kirk told him that he needs people over there doing it. Charlie Kirk said he was tired of doing it. Netanyahu said it.
How does that manifest itself? If you are a senior politician in the United States and you can't find it in yourself, even Hillary Clinton gave Trump credit for this because she knows how difficult it is to get to this place.
Yeah.
I just think to Bernie Sanders, I asked him directly, what's stopping you saying something, anything? You're very vocal all day long about Trump. And the reason is he doesn't want to say anything positive about Trump. So he'd rather not talk about this incredibly historic moment in the Middle East, which is, an example of just how unhinged a lot of Trump's opponents become.
Well, this is all political theater at the backdrop.
Well, let Tara respond.
Yeah, ultimately, I think it's the fact that it feeds President Trump's ego. They find him detestable. The fact that he needs these plaudits and awards. They don't like him as a person. It's political, obviously. But yeah, this is a big deal. He got Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office to apologize to Qatar.
Huge.
No, what I'm saying is y'all got to put it together. Charlie Kirk wrote Netanyahu that letter. Charlie Kirk wrote Netanyahu that letter telling Netanyahu to get his own influencers. And he told him, hey, make this Israel Truth Network and do all of that. Y'all got to go back to the letter Charlie Kirk wrote Netanyahu. Netanyahu was taking social media advice from Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk ran ads, did all of that shit, right? He also told Netanyahu that he needs to start posting shorts and get influencers to post on his behalf. He said y'all need a budget. Y'all gotta go back to the Charlie Kirk Netanyahu letter. Charlie Kirk told Netanyahu to take the $20 billion that they had allocated to whatever it was and use that $20 billion to start that network and to fund these creators. I'll do a video on it, chat. I'll do a video and break it down. I'll just do a video. Thank you, Big Niche. Thank you, Big Niche, because y'all don't watch my videos any fucking way. Maybe that'll be a reason y'all watch the videos instead of the live. I'll do a video.
Huge. He created a relationship with the Israeli prime minister that no other president has in decades. And he was able to almost strong arm this moment that we got to right now. And yes, he deserves credit for it. But the whole question is, does it hold up? And that's why this year-long evaluation for his Nobel Peace Prize makes the most sense. He probably hates that he has to wait for it. But I think it will show if this holds up. And I think...
You asking me to stop my show to show you evidence. I just told you where to go look. Go look at the letter that Charlie Kirk wrote Netanyahu. Netanyahu put the letter out. The letter is out there. You want proof? Go read the letter Charlie Kirk wrote to Netanyahu, and then go look at the post Netanyahu made when he sat down with those influencers and talked. If you want proof, I just gave you where to go look. Look at Netanyahu's meeting with influencers. Look at Charlie Kirk's letter to Netanyahu. That's the damn proof, man. He said it out of his own fucking mouth. I don't know what else you want from me, dude.
Lost you there, Tari. Sorry, Tara, we lost you for a couple of seconds.
Keep on this issue, and that they're...
Tara, just repeat your last point, because you were frozen.
Oh, yeah, I'll just finish on this last point if I have...
Yeah.
Yeah, my last point is that I hope that this period of time that it will take for them to decide if he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize will keep him fixed on the Middle East, and will not just be something he can check off and, you know, say, I did this, that it will make sure that there's actual follow-through on this 20-point plan.
Yeah, Brandon, do you feel there's a double standard when it comes to giving Trump credit for this kind of thing?
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, I think Trump derangement is the real thing. I think these people, like for me, if there was a Democrat that negotiated this, I don't care how much I don't like these Democrats. I'd be like, this is great, man. That's a win. If Barack Obama does something good, that was great. I like when he do things well. It's our country. So I'm hoping that he gets victories. But you look at it. Look at what happened, Pierce. You see people that Trump has negotiated peace. The ones who claim it was a genocide and their babies are dying, he's gotten it to stop, and they won't even celebrate that because they hate him so much. This should be a celebration, at least in part. Donald Trump is not God. And to be honest, the only threat of this backfiring is from the Palestinians and from Hamas. It's not like Israel's going to go back on it. They're going to do another terrorist attack, is the fear. But, I hope that it works. And we should all be cheering for it to work. We should all be giving input on, what's the next step here. Because Trump can't control everything. But
no, I agree. And also, Emily, I mean, I just feel that it gives you much more credibility, whoever you are, if you're prepared to just look at the big picture and give your opponent credit where they deserve it. It just gives you more credibility. I think one of the problems of social media, it's got so tribal and so toxic that even when a new fact comes out about your side, which is obviously very damning or wrong, people will try and pretend it isn't because they think that that shows weakness. When in fact, to actually criticize your own side.
Oh, I got a little time today, chat. I got a little time today. Alright, man. This is what y'all looking at right here. Launched in 2025 by Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it targets social media influencers to create pro-Israel content amid the Gaza conflict. The project allocates a $900,000 budget from June to November 2025 for payments to 14 to 18 US-based influencers on platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts. Compensation per post ranges up to $7,000 with averages around $6,100 to $7,400, covering content creation, production, and potential bonuses for engagement. Funds are channeled through contractors such as Bridges Partners LLC and Havas Media Group Germany to manage the campaign discreetly. Influencers produce posts promoting Israel's narrative without mandatory disclosure of sponsorship, raising concerns over foreign influence and FARA compliance. Reports from news outlets like Arab News and Ground News detail the payment structure, highlighting efforts to encounter declining support among younger Americans. X discussions amplify these claims, with the users sharing Grok analysis confirming the $7,000 per purse offers. The project aims to whitewash perceptions of Israel's actions in Gaza through paid propaganda. That's what y'all are looking at right there. The whole rundown, man. That's the breakdown. Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs, LAPM Government Advertising Agency. It's the whole fucking breakdown, dude. What else do y'all want to see? Hold on. Let me get the fuck back, man. Let me see. Charlie Kirk letter to Netanyahu. Let's pull up Charlie Kirk's letter to Netanyahu, because I got some fucking time today. I definitely have some time. I'm not really sleepy or nothing. Damn, I don't want to pull up. Hold on, shit. Got it right here. So that's the pay breakdown. That's where y'all can find that at. Now let's read this last letter to Netanyahu, man. This is the letter right here. Let me go on in this motherfucker and get to reading it, man. I'm gonna get to the actual part of the money breakdown of where he told him to get the money from. I strongly recommend putting together a team of pro-Israel experts who can fact-check misinformation from real time in Israel. Israel needs to take a lead in this effort. No more dependence on subcontractors. Israel never asked for American troops because Israel does its own fighting. I suggest the same approach for the information war. You lead and people like me will follow and provide supplemental support. If you're open to revamping your communication strategy, my team and I are happy to assist. You need something perhaps like Israel Truth Network, which can include social media channels and a one-stop source of information website. There can be links to books, podcasts, media personalities, and pro-Israel thought leaders. I'm trying to get to where the damn he's talking about the money. Videos, here it goes. Not that. It says Israel needs to establish a baseline for her identity. To run an effective messaging campaign, you need a clearly defined message. This message should be homegrown from Israel. In other words, create original content from Israel. Videos and visuals feed social media. Keep these edited clips under 1 minute and post the best ones to Israel Truth Network. Do not rely on non-Israeli social media influencers to create all of these clips. Create them yourselves, and influencers, surrogates like me can promote this original work and refer people to your social media posts and websites. Be proactive. Take the lead. Hold on. Here we go. I have increased my followers. Alright, here it goes. Where is the money though? Oh, I saw that Israel has increased its Hasbara budget by 20 times, which is great news. There's also hundreds of millions of dollars raised by private pro-Israel groups. Some of this money should be directed into creating pro-Israel original homegrown content. Next, promote this original content on Israel-operated social media channels and websites. Use some of these funds to start the Israel Truth Network. To sum it up, you should perhaps consider reshaping your Hasbro department into more of a political campaign headquarters with campaign narrative experts. Hasbro could be the mothership hosting ITN, where the Michigan campaign can be created, then distributed to the pro-Israel groups and thought leaders. Majority of the staff in these efforts should be in their 20s and 30s. The older generation alone is not going to win this information war on social media. You need to fill the ranks with young people who grew up with cell phones and social media, not payphone and new TV news. Once candidate is defined with a platform backfilled with extensive details, then allow the political operatives to take the platform out into social media with an out-of-the-box approach like some of the earlier suggestions. When you put those two together, this with the letter, follow the money, where they did the breakdown, and it's like, come on, man, that's where the 7,000 came from. Everybody left the damn live stream. See why I don't be stopping my show to give y'all, you know what I'm saying? Not y'all, but to you know, show the proof and shit like that. That's why I don't be stopping the show to show the proof, because motherfuckers get to leave. People leave and shit. They're here for something else. You know what I mean? That's why I don't do that. But I had a little time tonight. Crazy. Crazy.
Just gives you more credibility. You know, I think one of the problems of social media, it's got so tribal and so toxic that even when a new fact comes out about your side, which is obviously very damning or wrong, people will try and pretend it isn't, because they think that that shows weakness. When in fact, to actually criticize your own side from time to time, or to credit the other side, is a good thing for democracy. And I wish we could get back to a place where we could all do that quite freely. I criticize Trump quite regularly, but I praise him quite regularly. I think that's the right. I was the same with Obama. I just think that is the way a proper democracy works, right? But when people are so intransigent about giving any credit to someone like Donald Trump, whatever he does, I just think to me they lose credibility.
I mean, I think you can give credit. Just give credit where credit is due. There's been like 6 Israel-Gaza wars. 2008, 2014, Cass-led and protected.
Y'all say it froze? What froze? I froze.
Huge, wars that had ceasefires after them. The conflict has been never-ending. Well, basically since the inception of the state of Israel, between Israel and.
But we've never had this number, Destiny, of Arab and Muslim countries come together to team up in this way.
But they haven't come together to team up. The letter that was written, the unifying letter, all of it was, we hope that they, abide by international law.
Well, no, they endorsed the Trump plan, though.
The words that they're using are saying, we hope that something actually comes from this.
Yeah, but
this is like all the plans that Trump had, all the trade deals.
Well, I thought
the United States has no trade deals. There is no lasting peace right now between Israel and Gaza. This is like the framework of.
Well, actually, America does have a lot of new trade deals.
We have none.
Well, actually, it has a lot.
Zero.
No, that's not true.
It's true. It's not
zero.
True. It's absolutely true.
Well, the UK, you're sitting in the United Kingdom, we have a trade deal.
You do not have a trade deal.
Yes, we do.
No, there is no trade deal. These things are not one page signed and posted on Twitter. They're extensive things that encompass entire markets and tons of writing for it. There's no trade deal.
We have agreed a 10% tariff on UK products to the United States. That is a trade deal.
That's not a trade deal. That's an entry on an Excel spreadsheet. A trade deal is a comprehensive market-encompassing thing that actually dictates terms that you can rely on for, decades to come. It's not a thing that can change on a whim.
But do you dispute that Trump has managed to negotiate a series of deals with countries which are, in terms of tariffs, more advantageous now to America than they were in January?
No, our prices on everything are going up.
That wasn't my question.
No, they're not advantageous. They're hurting the economy in every measurable way. Inflation is up. The amount of taxes now.
Why are stock markets at record highs?
Because the stock market always goes up. It was at a record highs under
always
Obama.
go
Of course it does. Under every presidency.
When he launched his global tariff war, the stock market collapsed.
In the long term.
But now, having been promised Armageddon within 6 months, we've got to the point of 6 months, and the stock markets are higher than they were before he launched the tariff.
Not as high as it should be, but the stock market will tend upwards. That's how the stock market works.
Yeah, but this is the thing. It takes time. You know, like Donald Trump is making an effort to do this, and it takes time to come to fruition. I hope that you will be cheering for it to come to fruition and that Donald Trump is going to realize some of these things that he's put into place. Some of these negotiations will go through in a better way. Don't you wish that, Destiny? I think we all want that. Right?
I don't know what anybody wants. We're talking about giving the Nobel Peace Prize, hopefully, to a guy who is declaring war on his own cities. I mean, I don't know what the actual goal is for anything. You
know how ridiculous that is?
I do. I agree. It is ridiculous. I'm glad we can agree on that.
You know
for him saying he's going to go to war with Chicago, it's a ridiculous thing to say.
I was watching the citizen journalist Don Lemon out with his microphone, and he was talking to people in various cities about putting the National Guard on the streets. And you know what they all said, to his astonishment? They were all in favour of it.
I would be too if my city was overrun by crime and gangs and shootings and stabbings and murders.
If you feel the police is under-resourced and ineffective and is not protecting you, then I think people actually have rather liked the visibility of members of the National Guard on the streets. And you know, people can call it the militarization, the creeping fascism, all these things, or they could actually ask the people that live in those places, how do you feel about having some National Guard people on the streets? They actually feel comforted by the visibility of National Guard on their streets. So maybe Trump...
The only people who don't like law enforcement are criminals. That's the reality.
Right. These are just politicians that are running their mouth. Just like Black Lives Matter when they want to defund the police. You ask people that live in the hood, they love the police. They want the police there. They get sick of their kids getting shot in the middle of the street. So most people, you go to Chicago, go to D.C. Remember when they were protesting D.C.? A bunch of white people. You know the majority of D.C. population is black. None of the black people are out there protesting. It's a bunch of leftist nut jobs and politicians who are pushing this agenda. Most people want to be safe. The property value goes up when it's safe. Stores come into the community. The economy is boosted. Your schools are better. No person on earth want crime to be rampant in their cities. Okay. And when their politicians do nothing, then Trump has to step in.
All right, let me give the last word to Nadine. How do you see things in the next 2-3 years in Gaza, in the West Bank, in that region?
No, I think Trump addressing the Knesset today just proves how absurd this whole conversation is. He bragged about moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. He rewarded Israel's illegal annexation. He praised Miriam Adelson while also calling her Israel first.
But he also went to Egypt after the Knesset. He also went to Egypt. So, you know, yes, he was at the Knesset. Yes, he got celebrated for getting the hostages released. That's inevitable. But he also then went to Egypt immediately. Right? So, you know, I look at the totality of what Trump has done on this very quick visit, and he's going to both sides. He understands you only get to peace by talking and sitting down and doing deals with all warring partners. Right? It's the only way you do it.
And, you know, what we've seen is the Palestinian resistance today are the orphans of the past Israeli incursions on Gaza, on the West Bank. The number of Hamas militants, just like, you know, the pro-Israel commentators here said, hasn't actually decreased since October 2023. It's just about staying the same. So I think as long as you think that you can't bomb people into peace, you can't bomb people into submission, and Palestinians will continue to resist no matter what, because they are facing a genocidal baby-killing machine that is built on the blood of our people, that's built on the blood
and they're going to keep getting their butts kicked.
My village in Palestine was annexed 3 weeks ago. Not a single establishment or legacy media outlet has covered it. Beit Tiksa was annexed. You can search this up. And as long as we continue to be dispossessed through our land...
Shit, the Gaza Strip finna be annexed too. So in about a month or two, however long it take, your ass gonna be coming back on Piers Morgan talking about America annex the Gaza Strip. Trump said we gonna own it, man.
The right of return and slaughtered mercilessly, whether in Gaza, whether in the West Bank, or even 48 citizens, Palestinian citizens of Israel. Palestinians are only going to continue to fight that.
And they're going to keep getting their butts whooped.
Human nature. That is just human nature.
All right, we will see.
I'm sorry, before we go, Chris, I want to remind you that you had Nardine and I on right after October 7th.
I remember, yeah.
Off the bat, you asked her, do you condemn October 7th? She said no. She hardly condemned 9/11. Now that we're seeing each other again face to face, Nardine,
I was in second grade when 9/11 happened. You are a pro-Israel hack.
Even talk
You
about
have
condemning
nothing
9/11.
$7,000. Larry Ellison can buy TikTok.
Nardine,
They can
you
buy
are not
PBS.
pro-Palestine.
The
You are
images of the
pro-Hamas.
burned
Because when Hamas is slaughtering when Hamas is slaughtering all the Gazans right now, you're silent. Hamas is killing Palestinians right now, and you are silent because you're not pro-Palestine.
Okay, well, can I just say it's good to see that
Go burn things in Manhattan.
It is good to see that you two have moved on with your relationship since you last appeared on the panel together. And that there is a new harmony to it, which was lacking last time.
That was Israel-Palestine in a nutshell right there.
You know what? Actually, yes. And that's where we need to
I
get.
condemn killing, Nardine does not. Israel, Palestine.
Palestinians deranged.
My people, my land, and you just have a ridiculous.
I think, unusually for when a panel includes destiny, he's ended with the most prescient point of all, probably the most pertinent point of all, which is actually, in a way, that is the problem. And we need to get to a place where we can have mutual respect. And actually, I believe one day that will be a two-state solution.
The starting point is not like
70,000 Palestinians and counting.
Is not
probably a lot more than that. I think the number's much higher.
All right.
That's the starting point.
I'm gonna leave it there, but thank you very much indeed, all of you, for the debate. I appreciate it. 1 week ago, Katie Porter was measuring Gavin Newsom's curtains as the poll showed her with a commanding lead in the race to become California's next governor. Then, disaster struck. Katie Porter spoke to a journalist who had the audacity to ask her a question.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
Well, Porter's prickly response to that simple question set her win probability on an historic downward spiral, cratering in just days from 40 to 16%. The ensuing Porter pylon has brought with it a swirl of claims about disharmony among her team, and millions have viewed this clip of Porter yelling at a staffer who encroached on her Zoom shot.
You could lose. Get out of my fucking shot!
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles, it's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
Well, we invited Katie Porter to have a second go at answering questions here on Uncensored, but she declined. So in the interest of fairness and democracy, we invited her two leading opponents on both sides instead. In a moment, I'll talk to Republican candidate Steve Hill. But first, I'm joined by the California Democratic Party's Vice Chair, Betty Yee. Well, Betty, welcome to Uncensored. You posted on X following that first interview with CBS after watching the interviews.
Pierce messy. He done brought a candidate up here. Pierce funny as hell.
Katie Porter doesn't have the temperament to be governor. As a candidate, I welcome the hard questions. The next governor must be accessible and transparent. No place for temper tantrums. No place for dodging the public's right to know. And you then added in another post, Katie Porter is a weak, self-destructive candidate, unfit to lead California. The stakes are too high for her to stay in this race. It's time for her to drop out of the race. So no holding back there. What is it about the clips that have come out that sent you over the edge in terms of her ability to stay in the race?
Well, thank you, Pierce. Look, as a woman candidate, I know that we are held to double standards, and I believe Katie Porter failed to hold up to that standard. As a candidate, we reach out to all voters to try to make a persuasive case to earn their support. And I just believe that her temperament and frankly, just not being...
Call from?
Dorsey.
What it do, Dorsey?
Oh, pretty good, man. Pretty good. I see the hose is out tonight. Everybody's selling that ass to Israel, huh?
7,000, what they say.
Hey, 7,000 a pop. Hey, that's good prices. I done put up about 3 or 4 posts and shit. You ain't seen my post?
Thank you, Amy.
Huh?
No.
I said Israel didn't kill nobody, man. You know, they committed suicide. Them Palestinians killed themselves, man. Israel didn't do shit. So I think that's $7,000, don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think they care about what you say, Dorsey.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to step up my game, man. Damn. All right. Anyway, though, man, I see that all those, what they call influencers. Is that what they consider influencers?
Uh-huh.
I see all of them standing in line to get their check, huh?
Yep.
Fighting and shit. Shit, I ain't seen people fight like that until I seen the EBT line when they was handing out them phones. Damn. You know what I'm saying? Look at all of them on the whole stroll. Ain't mad at Israel. You know, people sell out for 7,000. That's, you know, that's their price. 7,000 a pop. Wow. I seen Officer Potato Head. What's his name? Tater Tot. Yeah, I seen his ass just cooning. No shame in the coon neither, boy. Hey, I had to give that to him. He earned that money. He must have got a little bit bigger check, cause he was first thing. And plug is my eyes so? I thought Sakoon had got a haircut. Was his hair back?
Shit, all though.
Ain't his fade kind of raggedy now?
Nah,
You're a cheap old bastard, huh?
Niggas' hair grow back.
I know niggas' hair. That's why we hit the barbershop once a week, right? Keep that shit tight, right?
Hell nah, don't nobody go to the barbershop once a week.
Yeah, you want your shit to be right? I mean, Officer Coon, he got that big money from Israel. He's supposed to be in that barber chair all the time. In fact, he's supposed to have his own stylist and shit. You never know when he's supposed to be on TV. Cheap. He old cheap bastard, I can see.
You said how much would it take for me to sell out to Israel? Man, I ain't gonna lie. After I seen what they said of how they feel about where Jesus said, bro, I can't do it, man. Like, I just can't do it, man. I'd be fair. Now, I don't hate Israel by any means. It is what it is. I'm not a Jew hater. I don't hate Israel. I'd be fair. But they was talking crazy about Jesus. I'm not gonna lie. They was talking crazy in some of them books.
Hey, Officer Tatum let him get that kink in, right? He like to be spit on. You heard him? Say, yeah, they spit on me, but I ain't really, it wasn't no big deal and shit, Officer Tatum would do anything for a Klondike bar, boy. Damn. All right, so
one of them books, what? I forgot what it's called. Is it the Talmud? Is that what it's called?
Talmud, yeah.
One of them books.
Crazy.
Netanyahu was like, yeah, it's some good logic in that book, but the book was saying basically they think Jesus is in hell burning in excrement. So basically feces, piss, and all of that. They think Jesus is burning in hell and feces, piss, and some other shit. Once I heard that, I got to scratching my head looking around like, damn.
Okay, but see that... Okay, can I be honest with you?
Man, listen, you can, and I'm going to be honest right back.
Okay, look, they ain't no real Jews because Jews say they don't go to hell. They say they just go to sleep into non-existence.
Well, I'm saying this. I'm
They say
saying,
there ain't no hell.
listen, I'm saying this. Netanyahu said out his own mouth that he read that book and that it got some real good logic in it. He did not denounce that. Yeah, but what? Yeah, but what?
Yeah, but a real Hebrew or Jew not believe in heaven or hell. He just believes in existence. And then when he
No,
dies,
they believe that they gonna bring God here. They don't believe in. They believe in bringing it here. They don't believe.
well,
They
see,
believe
that's
in
a
bringing heaven
Zionist.
here.
That's a Zionist. That ain't no real Jew.
Listen.
That's some corrupt shit. That's just like with some bad the Mormons. They ain't no real Christians. You see where I'm coming from? So they done took some shit and distorted it. That's all. And no Occidental Jew would say that. Them real Jews, the ones with the jerry curls, nah, they ain't gonna say nothing like that.
Man, that's the one that was talking, man. That's the one I'm listening to talk. That's the one talking about bringing the third temple is one of them, man. What is we talking about?
But it's not inspired by God. It's some little what's it called, zealots, zealot people.
Man, listen, all I know is whatever. Listen, I'm not here to break down the schematics tonight. All I'm gonna say is, when they asking me how much would it take for me to sell out, I said I can't do it, and then I gave some reference. I seen Netanyahu say that talking about the Talmud or however you pronounce it, say that there's some good logic in there. And when they told me what the hell was going on in there, I just got to scratching my head like, damn, that's what I'm from the Bible Belt. I didn't know that's what was going on. I'm new to this.
I was hoping they, pay me for them posts because I need a couple, at least 20,000 before I move to Texas. I'm finna move to that little town, Loving. Is it called Loving?
Yeah.
Loving, Texas. Move to Texas with that money, but they need to, they need to be a little bit more generous with it. Brother trying to make up some good stories for Israel.
They not finna pay you shit, Dorsey. You might as well hang that up. You don't fit the bill. You don't fit the bill.
I'm an influencer.
You don't fit the bill, Dorsey.
Oh, cause I'm black.
No, they paying niggas. You just don't fit the bill.
I'm just not that nigga, huh? Okay,
You just
all
not
right.
the nigga that they looking for, Dorsey.
Okay, well, fuck it. I'm still going to Texas. I'll just be broke. Don't be a black man on the side of the... I'm just going to be that black man on the side of the freeway. Is it on the 10, right? It's off the 10 or the 20?
I don't know where it's at. Never heard of that
But
place.
West Texas, right?
I'm
El
assuming...
Paso, the Pecos.
Listen, Dorsey, I don't know where that spot is at. I just know they got a lot of oil over there, and it's only 100 people that live in the county.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm moving there. I'm going to run for dog catcher or some shit like that. I'm going to get paid.
They're going to hang you.
Hey, what the fuck they going to hang me for? I just chase after people dogs. That's it. Dog catcher. I ain't trying to be sheriff. I ain't trying to be mayor. I ain't trying to be the treasurer. I'm just going to chase. All I want is $50,000 a year to chase dogs. That's
I think it's called Love County or something like that. Love County.
Yeah, that sounds like something I like. I like love. The love. Hey, that sounds like that's for me. Yeah, if you see me there, hey, don't be shocked. Oh yeah, that nigga Dorsey, he live right down the street. He's a crazy old coon. Like,
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, chat. If y'all see me taking some money, just to be transparent, if y'all see Plug taking some money, it's probably gonna be from like the NRA or something. I'm just gonna keep it all the way being. When I get my gun rights back, man, I'm pro Second Amendment as a motherfucker. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Well, at least he said he'll sell out. He just won't sell out. He'll go for the gun, but he ain't gonna go against Jesus. I respect the man for that. Oh yeah, H. Buster said he coming to America.
Who?
H. Buster.
Who? I don't know. Oh, H. Buster in the chat. Okay, H. Buster, come on
Yeah,
over.
yeah. But see, he don't know how to do the he don't know how to do the Joneses. encouraging that, right? He don't talk about people's mamas, so I'm like, oh, you gonna get dogged out. Can't take him nowhere. You can't come to the hood. They gonna talk shit. But anyway, so okay, Texas. I'm headed to Texas in the spring. I'm gonna have a little something. I'm gonna get that check, so I'm gonna come up. Then let's see. As far as with the Israel, as far as the propaganda machine, I guess I miss out because you say I don't fit the bill, And then what was the other story?
They over there protesting in the Netherlands against anti-immigration.
Oh yeah. They killed the daughter, right?
Yeah.
Because she was a hoe. Okay.
They didn't even say she was a hoe. They just said she was westernized.
That makeup on, I seen her with that makeup, with the rouge, and the eyeliner.
Also, we got Giorgia Meloni talking about breaking away from the EU.
Oh yeah, the little Italian lady. Oh yeah, hey, remember her and Elon Musk had a little something going on back then? Remember? About what was it, 9 months ago? You remember that?
Right.
Yeah, so shit, that might be one of Elon's baby mamas. You know how that shit works. Elon had got in her head and told her, like, look, baby, we need to get rid of the EU and just gone on Italy break off on its own and so forth, right? But Italy has a big immigration problem. You know that, right? All them Libyans cross across, and they now kicking out in Rome. There used to be a few brothers, in Italy, but back in the 80s. You remember?
No, Dorsey, I wasn't around in the 80s, nigga.
Oh yeah, well see, you remember I told you I used to be a assistant manager at the porn shop, right?
Right.
All the Italian porn, he used to have at least one brother in there. And he was in fact they got a slavery movie that's Italian and little Italian women getting they're getting pounded down by the brothers and so forth. It's very amusing. I was like, damn, even in Italy they like those niggas. Okay. So that's another something. So I think Italy is probably going to stay the way it is. She might break off from them, and then they talking about they going to improve their military, right?
Right.
To fight. They ain't got nobody to fight, so why would you improve your military?
Because they going independent, so they can have say-so. So they can break away from the Ukraine war. What it is that shit, Trump know Putin, my opinion is Trump know Putin's not finna make any concessions. He wants Zelensky to put down security guarantees and de-weaponize. I believe that with the EU backing him, Zelensky's not ready to do any of that shit. So Trump's like, look, man, we finna get America up out of here, man. I still want to broker this peace deal. So we pull Italy up out of there one at a time. These other countries got a lot of shit going on with this digital ID. They protesting and turning back. So shit, they got that going on. They own infighting in their country. Italy moves away. Shit, that's just gonna put more pressure on Zelensky to end the war.
Oh, okay. So maybe that, I guess what they're trying to unravel it. You know what I'm saying? But Italy wasn't no big, real strong nation to begin with. You know that in the 1970s, Italy had a real problem with communist people, rebels and shit. They were called the Red Brigade. You ever heard? Well, you're too young to remember that.
Right. But
they were called the Red Brigade, and they was assassinating and robbing banks and all that shit. And they was like some hardcore communists and shit, right? And they used to, them dudes used to run all around Europe doing shit. Interpol was on their ass.
Italy's one of the founding members of the EU, so that's gonna rock on.
Yeah, but they the weakest. They weak. They ain't nobody. Cause you know where Albania is, right?
No.
Okay, Albania is right next door to Italy, across the Adriatic Sea, right? And they used to have a bad immigration because some Albanians used to run across the border of Italy, and then they would say they were Italian, and it was kind of hard to get rid of them because they spoke Italian also, even though they was Albanian. But they were a separate group, and then eventually they absorbed them into the population, and then them Albanians migrated to New York, and then they tried to keep up shit up in New York, but people put their ass in check because they was like, nah, this ain't Italy, homeboy. So yeah, so Italy, I'd say leave the EU. I think they're gonna go bankrupt in about 5 years because they already have financial problems as it is.
I don't think they should finna strike a trade deal with Trump.
What they gonna trade in? Spaghetti? Ain't shit come out of Italy that except for the Alfa Romero and what, Ferrari. That's the sports cars. What else do Italy do?
Man, she said Rome is the heart of Christianity, man. You see what we doing for...
Rome ain't the damn heart of Christianity. Jerusalem the heart of Christianity. What the fuck she talking about?
They said Jerusalem
I don't even know. She's stupid as fuck.
Said Jerusalem got some other stuff going on. Man.
Yeah, Jerusalem is the heart of Christianity, you dumbass. Rome ain't shit. It wouldn't even be no Rome if it wasn't for Jerusalem. So she out her damn mind. Is she Catholic? She must be Catholic to think some stupid shit like that.
I don't know what she is.
I
don't know what she is.
Okay, well, she said some old crazy shit. What else? Besides Ferraris, Alfa Romeros, spaghetti. What's that other shit? Tutti Frutti, whatever else that shit is. Besides the mafia, what else does Italy have to offer the U.S.?
Let's see.
Because the United States, we ain't really
medical mixes and dosage, processed petroleum oils, cars, jewelry, automobile parts and accessory, blood fractions, cases, handbags, and wallets. Wine,
okay, besides fashion. So let's just put that all in the fashion, right?
All right, well, yeah, but in medication, processed petroleum.
Well, I know Rome is the leading producers of pedophiles. Some Catholic priests. Yeah, Rome got a monopoly on pedophiles.
They said they had a trade surplus of $59 billion last year. Top 3 exports are machinery, nuclear reactors, and boilers, pharmaceutical products.
Okay, so drugs, fashion, and fast cars is all they can offer, right?
You're not hearing machinery, nuclear reactors, boilers, pharmaceutical products. They're one of the world leaders in medication mixes and dosage. So they
don't nobody fuck with no nuclear power no more. Not especially not with Italian. Look, I know Russians do nuclear power, right? I know the Germans do it, and I know France do it. But Italy, oh hell no, ain't nobody finna get no Italian nuclear shit. If there is let me ask you something. Does Italy have nuclear weapons? No.
Well, I mean, obviously somebody buying it because it's number 2 out of their top 3 export commodities.
Yeah, but that's Africa, man. That's just right across the creek, man.
So Africa got nuclear weapons.
Huh?
So Africa got nuclear weapons.
They trying to get nuclear weapons. They got to start all the way on the bottom because they can't even design a nuclear. If they let the Italians build them a nuclear power plant, that mean they ain't got no.
You said that. I don't know if the Africans buying it or not. You said that.
Well, I'm saying it because who else gonna buy the shit?
Exactly. You just talking. Now you just letting us know that you just
So
talking.
you know what? I'm gonna Google that shit, and then tomorrow I'm gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Well, that was yesterday's company. I'm like, hell no.
I'm just saying, shit. You sit here talking about the Africans buying it, and this gotta be happening if the Africans buying it. I'm sitting here like, shit. How the fuck we know the Africans buying it?
Because that's the only other person that's gonna buy it.
Yeah, you don't know that. You
Nobody,
just talking.
You know, that's like going to, like, if you decide to go to Italy and get a nuclear power plant, that's like going to the thrift shop. You got real engineers in Russia and France and Germany. But Italy? Come on now. You know, they got some cool little cars and so forth, and you know the fashion is all right. At the same time, I mean, World War II. Let me put it to you this way then. Did Italy beat Ethiopia? No.
And right, that's what I'm saying. Nuclear power don't mean nuclear weapons all the time, Brucey. That don't mean nuclear weapons.
Exactly. So they don't have no game.
Right, but they asking, do you know how to build a fire with sticks?
Do you know how to build a fire with sticks?
Do you?
Yeah, if one of the sticks is a match, hell yeah, I know how to build a fire. What the fuck wrong with you idiots and shit? Oh, okay, I can't call you the F word, so can I? Yeah, anybody know how to build a fire. What's wrong with these clowns?
I don't think that was talking about a match. I think they're talking about with some sticks.
You want me to use the rub two sticks together kind of shit?
I think that's what they're talking about.
Is that what they're talking about?
Yeah, I would just use some glasses.
Yeah, I would use a magnifying glass. Well, I mean, what kind of people we dealing with, man? These people lack imagination, don't they? I don't think they had physical science classes where they went to school. Because there's a million ways to start a fire.
Well, they asked specifically, did you know how to start a fire with sticks?
Know how to start a fire with sticks. And 2 sticks, certain type of wood, and that wood has to be 100% dry because you can't build a fire with green wood. See, they don't even know. That's why I went to the Boy Scouts, so I can learn some shit.
Yeah, you could have learned that. I didn't have to go to the Boy Scouts to learn that. Hell, I went outside.
And use what? A magnifying glass, or you just start rubbing some sticks together?
Hell, a lighter. Shit, I was from the country for real. I'm gonna tell you, Chad. This how come from the country I was for real, man. Y'all know when we was popping firecrackers, bro. Like we was running around with cigarettes, man. Picture a bunch of kids running around with cigarettes, Marlboro lights and shit, man, Newports and shit, lighting firecrackers, man. Cause we done had a little fire starter. And they wasn't gonna give us no.
That's your wick.
And man. I'm talking about we at the park, we at the city park with cigarettes, man. Lighting firecrackers.
I can see it. You know, we from the hood. You know, the neighborhood. See, they don't understand the culture, and I ain't gonna go into it because you told me, you know, this ain't this segment. But like I said, okay, so Italy think that they're going to be able to do something, and they're going to trade with the United States, right? And they don't understand that Trump finna slip that dick up in them, right? Because they're going to think oh yeah, we got a good deal, and then Trump going to double cross them, right? You see where I'm coming from? And the Italians used to have a navy, but half their ships got sunk during World War II, and they really, I think the largest ships they even got is a frigate, and that ain't no damn ship. Tuna can. You see where I'm coming from? No. Unless they gonna try to get in on that Israel job. I think that's what they probably gonna do. Gonna try to get in with get some of that Israel money. You know what I'm saying? Because Israel's gonna be needing somebody to patrol the Mediterranean Sea, and basically besides Malta, Italy ain't really got, you know, they can't even beat Corsica or all the other little islands that's around there. And then Greece ain't gonna allow them to come over their part of the neck of the woods. Not Turkey ain't gonna allow them to do nothing on the eastern part of the Mediterranean. So really, Italy only gonna be able to boss around as their own little neighborhood. Ain't nobody scared of Italy. You see what I'm saying? So they ain't. I mean, Italy ain't even on the whatchamacallit, is it? The NATO Council, because Italy was with the Axis powers, so they was part of the enemy. So they ain't got no juice. Just like Italy, Japan, and Germany, they ain't even got no juice. You see what I'm saying? They ain't even on the council. So yeah, that lady just got she a female. She don't know no better. She running shit. She ain't doing nothing but running her mouth. Anything else?
Nah, hell no. They say Italy is in NATO.
Hey, it's in NATO, but it ain't like no big. It ain't no big baller. It ain't a big dog.
Say it was one of the 12 founding members.
And all the European countries was founding members. I mean, 12 of them. So that's basically most of Western Europe. You know what I'm saying? And then Spain wasn't even in the World War, and it had more juice going for them. Spanish Civil War. That was in the 30s, right? Italy tried to jump in and help Spain because the Pope wanted the royalists to win out. Royal people, because they had close ties to the Pope, right? And then the Italians tried to jump in it. They got their ass whooped, and they stayed out of it. That's when the Germans came in.
So how you feel about the young Republicans?
You really want my real opinion?
I mean, shit. If you don't want to give it, then you ain't got to.
I mean, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you both ways. I'm motherfucking no good, racist ass, KKK member ass, punk ass white boys with that bullshit. You can see how soft they is with them little motherfucking double chin ass. If I want to see games, I can see monkeys in the zoo. You can tell they some little old soft, weak ass white boys who parents paid for their little schooling and shit. And they think they elite, but
Dorsey, some of these people are 40 years old. Why are we acting like they all kids? Some of these people are in their 30s and up to 40 years old.
Okay, and that's my point right there. They ain't shit. They 40 years old and still ain't shit. Where I'm coming from? Because as soon as that list get out, and the Democrats is good about finding out shit, right? As soon as that list get out and they try to run for public office, they gonna bring up them damn emails. You see where I'm coming from? Somebody gonna snitch. And Dorsey know about snitches. Somebody gonna snitch.
Yeah, they said the Jewish dude sold them out, allegedly.
See? And you know why?
Leaked it to Politico.
You know why, right?
Why?
Talking shit about Jews.
They was.
Yep,
They
Jews
was talking about the gas chambers. They was talking about the gas chambers, talking about making a gas shower.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, them Jews ain't stupid. They sat up there and they was talking all that shit. And man, that Jew boy heard that shit and he was like, oh yeah, motherfuckers, you motherfuckers is through. You won't be getting no support from us. They put their own foot in their mouth. They shot themselves in the leg. I can't, them to say that kind of shit. And they from New York also? Oh yeah, they through. They through. They don't have no, they might be able to be a little lobbyist or some shit like that, but they'll never have any kind of political seats. So just keeping it real. I'll probably have a higher seat if I move to Texas. Hey, that little town, you can be a state senator in that little county, huh? Ain't that how it works in Texas? If you're part of a county, you get to be in the Senate. From Texas, let me know, man. Man, you gonna be neighbors.
What?
You in Austin, right?
What you say?
I said when I move to Texas, we gonna be neighbors, right?
Hell no. Hell no, I don't like no neighbors. Hell no.
Hey, I'm coming to Austin, right? I'm gonna ask around. I'm like, hey man, y'all know Plug? They gonna be like, yeah, we know Plug.
No, the fuck
like,
they know. They don't know me. They do not know me. You gonna be looking for somebody that ain't.
I'm gonna say, hey, here a nigga with dreads and wear a cowboy hat. They gonna be like, oh yeah, we know exactly who.
No, the fuck they don't. I don't go nowhere, Dorsey. I don't go nowhere.
Nigga, I'm going to the parole office first. That's the first place I'm going.
I'm not on parole.
Oh, you ain't on parole in Texas?
I'm not on parole nowhere. What the fuck you thought this was? I ain't never been on parole. I ain't never been on parole.
Well, I thought they tried to take, you was trying to get your little gun rights back. I didn't know.
That ain't got nothing to do with being on. I ain't on no papers.
Okay, so you ain't on no papers. Okay, you're going to be hard to track.
I
guess I'm going to have to go down there to the electric company or the gas company to find out what. I'm like, hey, man, y'all know this dude.
Yeah.
Cat named Plug.
They going to take you out, Dorsey. You come around here looking for me. They going to take you out.
Why y'all got to be so hostile?
You see what Drip said? Dorsey, Drip said, Dorsey, come on down. I'll take you to dinner, but you might get them strung up. See, Dorsey, you come down here looking for me, man. You get invited to dinner and shit.
Hey, man, I don't trust nobody.
Now you don't trust nobody. See?
Only person I trust is you.
Now you don't trust nobody. You come down here looking for me, you get invited to dinners and shit, man.
Hey. Be like, look, man, Plug, my boy, we go way back. Since 1920.
Yeah, come on.
Oh, man, you going to have people trying to bushwhack me, Plug. That ain't right, man. I thought I was your boy, man.
You'll be better off asking about me. See, if you ask about Plug over here, you'll be alright, man. You go to Arkansas asking about Plug, yeah, man, Dorsey. They might put you in the trunk, man.
No, I don't fuck with Arkansas.
They might put you in the trunk asking about me in Arkansas, man. They might go and tie you up, man.
See, I ain't fucking around with Arkansas. Y'all got too many witches and warlocks running around that bitch. I'm not fucking with y'all. So I'm gonna stay in Texas. I'm gonna stay in the Bible Belt. I don't be in the Bible Belt. I know you go to church, right? Yeah, you said you don't go no motherfucking well. Okay. No, I'm gonna find out, Plug. I'm moving to Texas, though. Believe me. Oh boy, talking about
listen, Dorsey. You know Texas is about big as California, right?
Yeah, Texas ain't that big.
Man, Texas is big as fuck, bro. It's gonna take you like 10 hours, 11 hours to get across Texas, bro.
Yeah, but I only have to go halfway because Austin is in the middle, ain't it?
Yeah, but you're not coming over here with me.
Man, I ain't say I'm coming over there.
You just said you was going there.
Like a nigga finna move in.
You just said you was going to Love County. You said you was going to Love County.
Like I'm gonna show up at your house with a duffel bag.
Nah. You said you was going to Love County, man, and running for dog catcher. That ain't nowhere near me.
I'm gonna be a dog catcher, man. I'm gonna be the best dog catcher they ever had, man. I'm gonna sell the damn dogs to the Chinese people if they don't fucking pick up their dogs.
Yeah, you going to the Fed. See, that's why you can't give niggas. That's why you can't give niggas a position. You already talking about corruption. You trying to run for office and start corruption day one, selling the dogs to the
Chinese.
No, the Dorsey. That's against federal law. That's animal cruelty. What are you talking about, dude? This is not. This is not.
People is good owners.
Listen, Dorsey, your ass is finna go to jail for corruption.
Man, them Chinese people gonna fatten them dogs.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, Chad, don't vote for Dorsey. I'm not giving Dorsey my endorsement, man. He trying to sell the dogs off already. He ain't even got the damn job.
Well, your dog should have been running around loose and shit, being a problem and shit, right? That's what the dog catcher's supposed to do. Catch the dogs and bring them in, and then try to contact the owner. If the dog, got a chip, I'm going to contact the owner. And then after so many days, I'm going to call up the local Chinese restaurant and say, hey, look, this dog needs a good home.
I hope they call the police on you. I hope they call the police on you.
Man, y'all racist, man. Them Chinese people ain't gonna do shit to them dogs, man. They gonna love them dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, YouTube. No, I be looking at TikTok. They have the little dogs all the time with the afro and shit. They love dogs in China.
Man, listen. Them folks gonna call the police on you, man.
Alright, well, okay. Well, I guess the dog catchers out and shit. What else they got? What else they got in Texas?
Man, you need to leave them folks alone, man. You need to stay in L.A. Texas is full.
Ain't no room.
Hell nah.
All of a sudden, when Dorsey want to come to Texas, all of a sudden Texas is full, huh? Ain't got
Texas
no
been full.
though.
Texas been full. Y'all the reason rent high as fuck now. Everybody from Cali want to run out here, man. Rent high as a motherfucker.
Oh no, I ain't paying no rent.
It was cool when everybody from Arkansas was moving to Texas, but once LA came out here, yeah, the shit started getting high.
Look, man, I'm gonna have a couple of shipping containers dropped off on the property they give me.
And they gonna turn your ass right back around because you trying to bring shipping containers out here to this man establishment. You ain't even met this folks and you already talking about bringing shipping containers, man. They gonna turn your ass. This is not Skid Row. Them folks had RVs out there.
Man, an RV ain't nothing but a shipping container with wheels. What the fuck you talking about?
They gonna
I'm trying to bring civilization to that part of Texas.
Yeah, but they not trying to do all of
it. In the damn county.
They got 100 and 100.
Okay, so they got 20 adults and 80 kids. All of them old folks. That old dude, he seemed like he was about like 1 foot in the grave, 1 out. So he ain't gonna be around long.
I don't know. I don't debate on how long people got to live.
Okay, so guess what? If they piss me off, a busload of hobos. Let's see, that's about 80 a bus, right? I'm gonna do just like y'all do. I'm just gonna bust motherfuckers in there.
Yeah, that's what he doing. He bought 2 5-acre pieces of land. He busting people in.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bust some more people in, some Californians though. We gonna keep this shit real.
You gonna bust what?
I'm gonna bust some Californians in here. I don't think I'm gonna come by myself. And I'm gonna bring about 2 shipping containers, and that's about 2 shipping containers should hold about 20.
Dorsey, it ain't even my establishment, and you pissing me off already. Talking about bringing 2 shipping containers and bus loads of people. Nah, man. See, that's what's wrong. That's nah. Hell nah. We gonna turn your ass right back around. You were supposed
Man,
to come
y'all
with.
gotta.
You were supposed to come. You were supposed to come with a fucking backpack, dude. You were supposed to come with a backpack, man, and some funds, bro. You talking about bringing
I ain't finna come up there with no backpack.
two shipping containers, man? Hell nah, man. Carry your ass
What you
up.
think I am, Johnny Appleseed or somebody and shit? No, I'm finna come in there with 2 shipping containers and shit.
Man, we finna borrow against them shipping containers and get another parcel of land for your ass.
Top Cat coming with me. Hey, Top Cat, they giving up free land up in Texas, man.
Man, listen, Top Cat
Hey, all
ain't
you
with
gotta
that
do is be
shit.
black and show up.
Top Cat ain't finna
Top
come
Cat
with you.
come.
Top Cat ain't finna follow you into the pits of darkness.
Why? Why's it gotta be?
Shit, I told you finna go out there and get hung. Shit.
Hell no, I ain't getting hung. I got another military vet with me. Top Cat. Top Cat got my back. Top Cat, we finna take over on the west side of Texas, man. They number 100 white folks in the county we finna move.
And there's one of y'all, and there's one Dorsey. What you think they gonna do? Shit.
Look, man. I'm gonna bring some little Chinese people with me too. We gonna open up some restaurants in that bitch, right?
Listen, Dorsey, they is not for diversity out there. It's 100 people there, man. They've been living like that forever. They already mad dude done brought these niggas over here, man.
Wait, check this out. I'm gonna bring some Samoans too, right? I'm gonna get some of them big old Samoans, right? You know what happens when you got Samoans and niggas, right?
Bye, Dorsey.
But I'm just saying, you know what happens when you got some Samoans and niggas, right?
You just want to bring everybody there. You see why Dorsey can't come to my house, y'all? Now y'all see why
We
Dorsey
gonna have
can't
some
come.
more niggas. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. We gonna have some more niggas, man.
Nah, man, Dorsey can't come to my house, y'all, because he gonna be trying to invite everybody over here. He gonna be
Not
calling
even
us.
coming out there with. I said I'm coming to just to visit you. I ain't been bringing nobody
Dorsey
with
gonna
me.
have a partner that live over here,
Then
and he
you
gotta
wanna play
holler
hide
at
and go
him. And
seek and shit and tell niggas to lay traps for me so I can't find you and shit.
nah,
You owe me money.
hell nah, man. Dorsey ass would be trying to get people to the spot, man. Nah, man. Hell, look. See, Top Cat, you cool, man. I know Top Cat gonna come through and hold it down. Dorsey gonna be bringing folks through, man, and having old friends that he ain't seen since he served and wanting to bring them over. Thank you, Carlos.
Check this out. I do have a buddy who has his own
See,
plumbing
I
service
told
and shit
you.
in the Marine Corps and shit. He in Houston though.
He gonna be trying to tell his buddy from Houston to come up and shit. Nah, man. See,
And then I got a cousin up in Dallas who know how to lay computer cable and shit.
now he got cousins and friends and shit. Nah, hell nah.
Man, I'm trying to help you out, man. You know, update your little. You said you want a big ass table and shit, right?
Man, look.
You seen old boy table this morning. You said, man, I sure would like to have a big ass table like that. I can get you a table like
that. Yeah,
hey man, hey man, I have your little studio looking nice and shit, man. I'll just bring a couple of my little friends with me and shit. And then they'll hook your shit up.
Nah, you can't bring nobody over here. That's the thing, man. Can't nobody can come over.
All right. I'm a respect your wishes. You want to be a little old hermit and shit. I'm gonna let you go, man. You know,
Man, I lived in a house for some years, bro. My parents didn't even come to my crib. They didn't even know where I lived.
Damn, you like that?
Hell yeah, I was living like that, man. The less they knew was the better at the time.
Oh man, my parents was like, they came to my house and they shit. They never came back.
Man, my parents did not need to come over
I
there.
trick my parents over my house.
I was living on 23 acres. I had 2 ponds. Big ass back deck. Thank you, Carlos.
Well, like I said, man, I'll let somebody else get up on here. Miss Yvonne, you still on the line? Miss Yvonne and so forth. You remember the lady that talked to you this morning?
Yeah, she not in here.
Miss Yvonne, I'm just gonna let you. But Top Cat, call in, man. Let them know that, man. Us LA people ain't that bad, man. We come to West Texas, man. We'll turn that motherfucker out. So we'll open up a red onion right first thing, right? Top Cat. All right, then. I'm gonna see y'all, everybody on Plug Planet. Stay tuned and hear what Top Cat got to say, cause he gonna keep it real.
Right,
Talk to you later, Plug.
Shit. Plug and Dorsey just don't know we finna wrap this motherfucker up. Plug finna carry his black ass to the kitchen and eat my BLT. That's what I'm finna do. I'm finna go eat this BLT. Do you hear me? But chat, it's a lot going on in the world. Dorsey crazy as hell. If he think he finna come over here and invite some people. Carlos wants some chicken tenders. Thank you, Darking. Thank you, Darking. Carlos wants some chicken tenders. Yeah, I'm finna go eat this BLT. Thank you, Andrew. You can call in, Top Cat. It's gonna be the last call of the night. Go on, call in, Top Cat. Dorsey making a quote. I ain't trying to make no quote. Lorenzo, you can't hear? Let me turn the mic up a little bit. Say you made meatloaf. I ain't had meatloaf in a long time. I want some chicken spaghetti.
Top Cat.
What it do, Top Cat?
What up? I was trying to catch up with you. I know you trying to get in there and get in that kitchen, man. I was trying to catch up because I've been in and out today, so I was trying to see what was up. I heard a little bit of the show in the beginning, but I'm trying to see what your topics was.
Shit, we talked about the young Republicans getting caught in that group chat talking crazy. Jay Jones, you know, he was running for, I think, Attorney General in Virginia. He got caught calling for the death of his political opponents and shit, too. Italy's talking about stepping away from the EU and not going by their trade regulations. Netherlands protest the anti-immigration. What else? That's about it on this episode, other than the hostages and prisoners getting released, talking about their conditions.
Dorsey talk about free property, huh, in West Texas?
Oh, yeah. And it's a dude in West Texas. He from Indiana. He's a doctor, I believe, but he bought 2 parcels, 5 acres apiece. He's talking about giving out free land with like free. They trying to overthrow the government. He trying to move enough people in there to, you know, start winning local elections. They got one of the highest GDPs per capita. They got one of the highest. They making the most money. It's an oil-rich town. Oil-rich county. Only 100 people live in the county. He's already moved like 20 people over there and got like 12 of them registered to vote.
That sounded like cowboy cat country. Shit, I see why he talking about going over there now. I get some of that damn oil money. I'll be running around that bitch like Dukes of Hazzard. I don't give a shit who bad happy shit. This money gonna make you happy. But nah, I saw that earlier when Officer Big Head was talking on there and shit, checking a little bit of that out, and that's when I was at Walmart. I had to drive and shit, so I couldn't do too much more listening until I got back to the house. So yeah, them sound like some interesting. But from what I had saw earlier, these cats is kind of wild on the aspect of this Nobel Peace Prize and stuff. Like, what the hell? That's something you get as a result of your regular work, and what you're trying to. I haven't seen too many people say that they were sitting up there trying to win the Nobel Peace Prize. That seems kind of wild, period.
We watched Mike Johnson earlier talking. That was like shit. He's talking about the government shutdown. His first two sentences, he talking about, Trump should get the Nobel Peace Prize. And damn, shit, they just gave it to the Venezuelan lady. We got a whole nother year for this shit happen again.
Yeah, and a whole bunch of review. And I mean, I believe he, in a way he should, but I don't, what do we have to give up to make this happen? How in the hell are we responsible for what's happening that people don't see? If we making peace, then we're the ones in the war. If we're doing the situation, the only way that we're making anything happen is because we're in the war. It's really our war. And he ended it, and that Qatar stuff, it all adds up perfectly. But I was listening to what Officer Bighead was saying, and he was talking about, they were talking about, well, you give credit if Obama did something good, I gave him credit. If this and they did something, what the hell did we elect y'all for but to do things that were good? We didn't elect y'all to sit up there and say, let me see how this is going to go. We elect you because we believe that you're going to make the right decisions when it comes down to it. And now I'm starting to see like an internet phrase for people to do what the hell their job description is to do, period. I don't expect for nobody not to be trying to end that. I mean, so Carter should have got the award for the rest of his life until he passed away. He was building houses and going to other countries and helping here and doing all kinds of stuff to try to promote peace and give people homes and help people. You know what I mean? So, but that's what you're supposed to do in those positions, being a person of privilege. You don't have to worry about where you lay your head, so you try to help other people have a good place to lay their heads. But now, as much as they're talking about the hostages and stuff, I don't see them speaking on, the damage that was done. So to me, it's almost like this is a blanket that's going to cover up all the damage. Oh, the peace. Okay, well, before the peace happened, there was a lot of damage done. And we talking about the Palisades. We talking about all these different places that had natural disasters and all this destruction. Well, look at the destruction that was man-made in that place. What are we talking about in that point? Okay, what are the rebuilding situations? I know they want to take over Gaza. I know they want to do that situation, but is this a point that colonialism actually worked? Okay, y'all have a ceasefire, so what's the next situation? You guys were in control of Gaza before it started. So what's going to be the demographics now for these people while everybody's saying it's peace? They're saying break down the military, whatever. Who's going to take over these lands? Who's going to protect these lands? It's looking like Israel just basically usurped their land. Like it is not just going to be the United States. If the United States is here, that's Israel there. And get their land usurped. They actually wanted peace so much that they're going to go to a point of being not free people no more. They were already being contained. They have to assimilate. I don't know exactly what's going to happen from it, but I'm just happy that people aren't still dying. But sometimes, you can kind of end things early and they wind up worse in the end. And I heard that other dude speaking on that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. If you end things early and you don't have a plan for what's to move ahead, then those people are in the same predicament they were before this all started. And I don't like what they were saying too, when they kept saying, "Oh, it's on Hamas, it's on Gaza for this not to happen in the terrorist attack." I keep telling everybody, man, please go do your research and look into history. Israel been doing this stuff and invading them people and controlling and doing these terrorist type things to these people for the last 60 years. So how are you going to say that it's on them? That was one of their first retaliatory actions. And you're saying it's on them. Like, the one-sidedness in the situation is just ridiculous. So Qatar gets to come fly over the air over here, and now the war ends in the Middle East. Are people putting this together? It's kind of crazy. Like, so we had to give up airspace for you guys to stop fighting over there? Doesn't make sense. And then that Charlie Kirk thing, I was listening to you. That was right when I was listening to you, brother, when you was like, man, everybody left because have me pull up this shit over again. That's why I don't do this shit. Yeah. So, what does that mean towards Charlie Kirk now? Like, what is the demographics? So Candace is saying one thing, and on the other end, it seems like he's being a social media advisor for all of the nation state of Israel. Think about that, Clark.
I mean, that's what was going on. He was taking a step back. He was saying like, "Hey, look, because you got to think that letter was from Easter, and the text message, the text thread to where he was like, I have no choice but to lead a pro-Israel cause was in September, the 8th, I believe. So these are months apart.
So yeah. So what made you flip in just that amount of time? This conflict's been going on. What is it going on?
Tucker Carlson. It was because he wrote that he was tired. He knew he was setting up for a new TPUSA tour, right? He was like, look, man, the last time I went out, half of the questions I got was about Israel. I can't keep doing this shit because, you know what I'm saying? So that's when he wrote the letter to Netanyahu, giving him a little heads up, like, look, this is what y'all should do. You know what I'm saying? It'll make it easier for me to help. Then,
we on the same page.
Then he had brought Tucker Carlson out. And they told him, hey, you gotta quit fucking with Tucker Carlson. Like, dude's not with us. Get away from him. And he was like, nah, I'll fuck with Tucker. And so that's when they took the money away from the donor, put the $2 million away. And that's was at the time where he was like, yeah, they're his exact, I could pull it up exactly. He was like, they're making it hard. They're living up to the stereotypes, basically.
So it's shocking. So they take the money away, and before you can deface them, you leave this planet. But you can be, if you get defaced, you leave this planet before you get to deface them, then we can still use your demographics, our cause. Seems almost perfect to me. Seems like they handled it perfect to me. If there was not a point of morals in a situation where life didn't matter, seems like they did exactly the thing that they needed to do before he got to get any build up on the other side. So they were trying to shut something down and use his position to better themselves. So now, like, they moved him out the way and they're trying to press Officer Big Head up front?
No, they definitely not trying to push him up front. He don't even got nothing to do with TPUSA. TPUSA is his own entity.
I'm talking about Israel.
No, they're not trying to push him up front. He is taking it upon himself to do that.
Then why would Netanyahu give him the exclusive?
But Netanyahu gave him the exclusive after he went and sat down with the white man, after he went and sat down with the Iranian.
Yeah, which makes sense. You got to handle your neighbor before you handle the outsiders.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So it makes sense in demographics, but on the point of who he's trying to touch, like exactly what Kirk was saying, like basically, and truthfully reading that letter, that didn't sound like him to me. You know what I mean? That sounded like a whole put together letter by everybody and all the officials that are around him, all his advisors. Sound like that letter was almost like pre-written, for him. But it doesn't, he might have felt that way and they expressed it for him, but it didn't, for more imperfect and what he was expressing, that it didn't seem like it, like how we're talking now. There's no hiccups in it or anything. It's just straightforward. He told him he was trying to teach him how to master the social market like they didn't know. Even when he started expressing himself, dogging my people out and saying, hey, you don't want nobody that use phones. Everybody that you want to be pressing and getting this information is people that basically, from what I heard, that's why I said is Kirk really
But
feeling that way.
they didn't
because he was
know.
saying,
That's the thing. They didn't know. That like when you breaking down the switch between social media, the influence media, and the way this shit's going, like they didn't know. Like what Charlie Kirk gave the Israeli government or gave Netanyahu in that letter was gold. That's exactly what they need to do. Like that's what a social media. If you don't know my introduction to Charlie Kirk, I never came across any of his content but ads. They were ads to his debates, and I would catch a piece of the ad and I would be sitting there, and the next thing I know, I done watched it for 45 seconds to a minute. But it would be an ad. So even with millions of a million plus followers, subscribers, or whatever, this big platform is on Charlie Kirk show, big Twitter presence, whole company that's bringing in $150 million in donations. He still ran ads. He understood it.
yeah, well, this is what I'm gonna say, Plug. I'm gonna push back against that just a little bit, just on regular knowledge. When it comes to social media or the media platform, period, they're the ones who invented it. So it would be crazy for me to think that with these algorithms, the Mossad, this is the most intricate spineless network in the world, to not be able to come up with that regular basis that a sixth grader could kind of come up with.
That's what I'm telling you. They couldn't. You know why? Because a lot of their people over there, even Netanyahu himself, he doesn't do a lot of his interviews in English. When he talks to his people, he talks to them in that language. That's not gonna translate here. And over here is what's running a lot of the narrative. Another reason I'm gonna say it isn't is because of who controlled it. Before, China had control of it. Now what happened? They made Larry Ellison, the guy over Oracle, has it now, and they put an IDF soldier over the censorship. So that's how they combated it. They didn't understand it. They just took it over. And then when Netanyahu sat down with those influencers, he also said, Elon's not an enemy. I'll reach out to Elon and see if we can get him on board. So that was their way of combating it, was just taking the shit over, calling some shots.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In that way, the way you just expressed it would be to me like the boom of social media took over the platform that they had been controlling for the last 100 years.
That's the thing. See, they've always been on the ownership part. They haven't been on the, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to the being the forefront, you know, it'll always be another group of people. They'll be the ones behind the scenes. So it's the same situation. Charlie Kirk was telling them to get in the forefront, show your people, but instead they did what they do. They just bought the company. Or called in a favor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Which is some bullshit, but I feel like Charlie was giving them the right direction and telling them how to do it. That's why he said, skip all of you. Like, okay, even though you're in your position, you're not the one that needs to be the face. You need to make the young people the face.
And I think that they would, but you got to understand that a lot of them don't speak the language. And I don't think Charlie Kirk would really understood that in that moment. Like how us as Americans, we automatically assume everybody's bilingual and speaking English over there. A lot of those people over there don't speak English.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure about 80 to damn near 90%. Most of the people over there speak almost 3 languages, and most of them, English is their first language, not Hebrew, or Yiddish. You know what I'm saying? It's really wild because if you look at their demographics, and then over half of those people are dual citizens. Half of them are over here and backwards and forth. Shit, Netanyahu, we ain't checked. He might be a dual citizen. So it comes down, that's why I was saying it's kind of wild how they're playing it because they can push it from any demographic. It's weird for me, for the Mossad, the people that are watching 007, they looking at 007 and watching him. You get what I'm saying? It's weird for them not to be up on how to change or mess with media when that's what they've been doing. I mean, if you look back all the way
Because this what I'm telling you, Top Cat. I think this is what you're missing is they don't have the following. They have the money. They can buy the platform. They can understand it, but they don't have the influencers. Nobody over there carries the message globally like American influencers do. Like some of these, even the K-pop influencers and shit. Like they don't have those over there. They don't have any heavy hitters. They're not. That's why they went to these influencers over here.
Exactly. So this is gonna sound kind of fucked up, but it's like, so we need somebody to get in front of the dummies.
They need an industry plan, and that's what they're doing. They're subcontracting industry plans. That's what the $7,000 come from.
That's half genius. That's half genius, and they've done it before, or they've done it through Bette Midler. They've done it through all these different people that were influenced. Now they're out of the range. All the way back to Sammy Davis Jr. They've done it. So now they've lost that platform. They lost their head cat. You know, if they could get anybody they wanted right now, they'd probably try to get Keanu Reeves, because everybody thinks he's the sweetest person and the nicest man on the planet. If they could get anybody, they would love to have him at the forefront. But now they're saying, okay, that's not exactly how it works. We have to diversify this whole situation and put a
because before there would be no. So you got to understand, it was all cool until the GOP flew. The GOP is getting younger, and the GOP to understand social media is a lot younger. Once Nick Fuentes and the people like him, the America First, the people that are pushing Israel, pushing AIPAC to register as a foreign agent, the people that are pushing, saying Netanyahu's committing war crimes, not even the pro-Palestinian people, just the regular GOP people that's calling it how it is, they weren't ready for that.
Yeah, that's why I said they lost their wing. Their wing then got old and then fell off. Now that there's a wing out there, they're trying to grab it. Then they need a forefront to grab it. Like you said,
you got to think before they could put a cap on it, you would just get fired from Fox News. You would just get fired from CNN. Get fired from wherever network you're on. But now you had a YouTube. Oh, we'll get you banned from YouTube. Oh, you had a X, Twitter. We'll get you banned from Twitter. Well, Elon brought Twitter, brought everybody back. Well, okay, Kick and Rumble have gained some steam now, so where they're gonna let you say whatever the fuck you want to say. And Nick Fuentes was banned from everything, banned from some fucking airlines and shit too, and he still goes live and pulls 80 to 100 to 150, 200,000 viewers
every time he goes live. Yeah, see, that's what
they couldn't account for that. 10 years ago this wasn't happening. 15 years ago this wasn't happening. It couldn't happen.
Well, yeah, survival was more of the ethic then. Now, even as much as people think that things are getting bad, or getting so much worse, at those times it was regular survival and entertainment, were the major things. Now politics, since Trump then came in here and switched up the game so crazy, he didn't turn the game into like a talk show or like one of those game shows, who's the biggest this or something. Like the politics have changed to the point where you don't even have to respect the politician as long as you like them. That's all that matters, and that's kind of dangerous. I think it's very dangerous in the moral aspect. So people play the moral aspect of it, and it really doesn't help the country. We need to be making decisions on the best things for us as human beings rather than the things that entertain us the most. Because I have to say, Trump is fucking entertaining. Obama was entertaining. Bill Clinton was entertaining. George Bush Jr. was entertaining. His little ass was funny, in some aspects on how he acted. But these demographics are actually playing out in our lives. We have to take this stuff seriously. I see right now that Charlie Kirk situation dealing with Netanyahu, the point that you're even speaking, for the stuff that you've been through, to speak to somebody that's only 30-some years old, on these issues as if they actually have skin in the game.
Like it's
Wow.
bad. Like it's to the point to where candidates are saying, "Hey, I've taken $0 from APAC." You know what I'm saying? Like they got an APAC tracker on how much money people have taken from APAC. It's gotten so bad that Trump got up there over there in Israel, wherever he was, and was like, "Yeah, my biggest donor," or you know what I'm saying? I had to, ask her, was she America first or Israel first, and she wouldn't answer. Like he's trying to ease the blow. You know what I'm saying? Because he know this shit. He took $100 million. You know what I'm saying, from these people. It's crazy.
It's been there. That's what I'm saying. And those are the same ones that are saying that during all this damn riots and BLM stuff, they're saying that young black men were the biggest threat to Israel. And then they wind up going into war with Gaza. And AIPAC is a beast, just like that word anti-Semitism. It's not a real word. That word was invented. You know what I'm saying? So people really be sitting up there saying anti-Semitism, and they don't know that that was a word invented by the same people that invented AIPAC. It was never in the dictionary. It was something they actually made a word and gave it its own definition. That's why it keeps being able to be changed and saying, okay, that's considered anti-Semitism. That if it was sitting on a regular definition, we could all look at it and say, this is not that, and that is that. But they caught Kyrie up with it. They caught Ye up with it. They caught all these different people up with it because they could keep changing the definition because they made it. And they're our proxy. We made them. So I see this all working like a cinnamon roll. It's going in and out, like spinning out and around, and it's, getting glazed over and all these different points. And Kirk was being a new type of influencer. He sees the algorithm and he sees the change. He sees that if he would have kept in the same demographics he was going in that same direction, he was going to lose following Israel. From a heads up. And he was like, okay, change this. Things didn't change. He saw stuff going in the same direction. He knew he had to pull his ass out of there because as much as you talk about good things and you talk about how you feel about different stuff and all that, when it comes to the end, it's all about the money and the followers when it comes to influence. You know what I'm saying? It's going to, whatever I have to do to have this influence. The same way Obama went from, he wasn't all into that transgender stuff, and then on his second term, he had to flip-flop to be able to still hold those same voters. So I see this kind of happening for them, but the crazy part is they made a martyr that's not that for all these people that should be just as well as just he's like to me, Charlie Kirk was a commentator. He didn't really, why is he getting all this power in it?
That's where we got to break it down. He was a commentator, but he was bringing the Republicans $150 million a year. He was one of their largest fundraisers.
Mm-hmm. And that's they're gonna goat out any situation like that, just like Oprah. But that's what I'm saying. For him to be in that position at that age was pressing the demographics of the outcasts and what the other people would call the thinkers. I don't think it was 100 million athletes worried about what Charlie Kirk was saying. I don't think it was always the regular businessman worried about what Charlie Kirk was talking about. Like, they might be worried about what he was talking about in the misogynist type situations where men and women and genetics and stuff, so that brings you in. But his number one goal for him to say, oh, all these things are regular things, and then at the end, I'm a Christian man and this and that and this and that. Those two things, church and state were supposed to be separate. He brought them together and actually moved things in a backward stance for him to be able to push forward and hold all the demographics of what conservatives and conservative young Republicans would like or want. So he was pressing. That's why I said, is this really natural? There's some people that just can't run a certain way. Eric Dickerson, he had high knees and he was tall. He wasn't going to be in the whole, dropping his shoulder pads down to 3 feet off the ground and just barreling people over. He's going to run them over from the top and then bounce off. That's how he runs. The new demographics is you can morph. It's almost like that Terminator shit, like when he was Liquid. You can morph into whatever anybody wants you to be just to get the job done. And this is a reoccurrence of what happened in the early 1900s when I was telling you with the Negro Leagues and stuff, what the Italians did to try to get power. You know, they did whatever they had to do. They said whatever it was, but what is your end goal? And in this, I say, okay, damn, our country can't live off of somebody trying to get a Nobel Peace Prize. You can't live off of somebody just trying to beat the last record. Oh, you had the highest GDP, now I'm going to try to make the highest GDP. That is a complete capitalist look at the head of governance. And the head of, yes, we are in a capitalist society, but our head of governance can't be capitalist. It has to be about us. It has to be about humans, and it has to be about people and the quality of life and the point that of where we're trying to move forward to. So I was talking to Corey earlier about that UK situation. He was talking about that new, what was it? It's a new party out there. The party is called it's almost like a MAGA. It's a progressive party for Republicans and different stuff, or conservatives. I was looking at that and I said, wow, look at this whole movement. People that act like everybody else but them has morals or love or are patriotic. They're the only ones because you're using a migrant situation to grade my morals. You know, so I'm seeing that. I'm like, what is the end goal of this? What are they really trying to get in the end of this? Because right now, from what I just heard and what you were just describing, it's hard for me to think that they didn't knock Charlie Kirk off. And it's hard for me to think they didn't unalive that brother, because for him to just switch, and then for them to put a cap on him before he could, he can get pissed off or say something about him or actually move or sway it. It's like they followed his advice. You know what I mean? It's like they followed his advice. Like, oh, do this, do that. Okay, well, all that's fine, but we can't do none of that and let you keep pushing if you turn against us. That's kind of funky right there. That kind of puts a little hiccup in the game, because if we gave them all that game, you know what I mean, and then you switch over, like, how, if you gave me the game and I'm following you the OG, how can I let you keep pushing and I know the next thing that you're going to say is going to be against us? All the things that you just told us you can use against us. It's kind of hard for me to say, hey, why wouldn't they knock him down? They martyr him out and say that he was all about Israel. You know, it kind of adds up great. So, I don't know. I'm not a conspiracy guy, and truthfully, I ain't got no skin in the game, and they can go around kicking each other in the ass all they want. But just discussing the situation, that shit looks real, real faulty.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, how you feel about that? How you feeling about the Ukraine situation now, with Italy turning away from the EU a little bit?
Well, I would be a little scared for Ukraine right now, because Italy has they have a very rich history with Russia. You know what I mean? So for them to turn around from the EU and the different things were going on with Russia, with their oil fields getting smashed on and stuff, and they having a different points of this war actually affecting their GDP in a different manner, where they're actually messing with their points of making money, and then Italy to secede. And actually, so who are they going to go with except for Russia? That's kind of my situation. So the Ukraine, that's almost putting you in a surrounded situation. Remember a while back I told you about the Access powers?
Right.
It's seeming like they're accessing like a motherfucker now, huh? They say, ooh, well, damn, it's going right back to what it used to be. Yeah, make America great again. Well, we were great when we were having to deal with these people, so why is it getting put back in the same situation? Really, to do that right then, they're back on their own. And nobody realizes what Italy did during the Second World War. They weren't fighting in Europe. Why don't we ever hear the Luftwaffe and the Italians came in and blew up Britain and did that? No. Italy was still trying to finish what they started. And that's trying to take over Africa. They did most of their fighting and stuff in North Africa. So now Italy is succeeding and maybe going with a a Russian situation rather than a German? Is Russia the new Germany? We don't know which way this is going to go. That's what I'm saying. And on our part, I think that we're sticking our neck out too much for all these situations instead of turning our heads back on defense and understanding that we don't need none of these people. We need to be controlling these things by our work ethic. That's what the America is all about. And whenever anything ever happened on this planet that this United States was dealing with, it was about us coming together and pushing out so many products and having so many different things and having a greater point of life and understanding that we could defeat almost anything. But we're putting ourselves in the same pool as these other people. We're putting ourselves there. We're not being decisive in the point that we can create whatever we want. We can push out as many planes. We can do anything that we want. But instead, we're infighting over their situations. And that's where I see, the collapse of this country coming in, because now we're fighting state to state more than we're caring about the state of human beings. We didn't get into World War II until they supposedly, allegedly saw these videos of these people getting treated a certain way, because they didn't care when it was black people getting treated that way. Leopold, they got films and all that shit of 20 million motherfuckers dying in the Congo, and y'all didn't go over there and do nothing. Rwanda, y'all did nothing. All these different millions of people dying, y'all did nothing. But all of a sudden, these people were in these camps, and y'all had to get your asses over there. We have to stop this D-Days and all kinds of stuff. So I see that there is still, a bias to this. So that means that y'all still having a major goal that's completely different than what us lay people are out here. Looking at us lay people, we're like, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. There is a major goal that's going on with these people. And I think Charlie Kirk kind of was a lay person in his head in the beginning, and then when he was going to pull the switch, he actually understood, and I'm going to put it out there, Frank, that I am not dealing with the real people. Dealing with them because they're not supposed to be thinking like this. They're not supposed to have these certain things, the goals that they have and how they're instrumental in handling things. I'm finding out that I am surrounded. I thought that I was a part of it. I'm not a part of it. I'm surrounded. I'm their proxy now, and I want out. And then when you want out, it's like I keep telling you, all this shit is gangbanging. He want out? Well, when I came up, only way out is one way. You know what I'm saying? And that's in the dirt. It's kind of for me, it's showing its face beautifully. It's showing its face exactly what's going on, man. And that Texas land too, I'll take me some. People are gonna look at me funny for saying that. Yeah, they might be tripping. There's 100 white folks out there. They don't want to see me, and they'll have them another 100 white folks right there sitting with them, renting my damn property. I ain't gotta go, but I'll take some of that land, boy. I ain't hate. I'll have Jennifer and Jessica right up in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Richard and Robert be sitting right up in there renting. I wouldn't give a damn. Y'all can have their votes. It don't make me no damn difference. It ain't like they counting my damn votes anyway. But hell yeah, man. But yeah, I was just putting my 2 cents in on that because that's what I heard, man. Was hearing about earlier. So yeah, I just hope everybody can pull the wipers off of their face. Stop just getting glazed over and see that there's a bigger mission in this. And if you were people that said this land was yours and you came from somewhere else and took some land, and out of all this, how much land? So everybody kept saying from the whoop whoop to the sea. This is the old shit, from the whoop whoop to the sea. Now Gaza stopped. Who's controlling it but them? They got the land that everybody was talking about from Israel to the sea, or from Palestine. Some they were saying that was in the Bible. Now they got it. So we have I'm just telling you, everybody just keep looking. Let's find out if we just, in 2025, with all this education and all this knowledge, did we just watch the land get colonized on this planet this late, with this much understanding, with as smart as everybody thinks they are? If we go into space, we got ships shooting up and people in space and all that. Are we still a colonial planet. Like, if we just watch a place get colonized in our base, and we watch geopolitical politics and different stuff control our minds enough to watch some stuff that is never supposed to happen again. So that's just my 2 cents, bud.
All right, Top Cat, man, we finna get up out of here, man. We'll be back in the morning.
All right, man. Go ahead and put something on your stomach, man.
All right, now, man. I'll let you.
At 100.
Yeah, man. Top Chat. We finna get up out of here, man. I had a good time tonight. Y'all help me take my mind off some shit I got going on in my real life, man. Oh, man. My partner got in an incident tonight, chat. My partner got in an incident tonight, man. He in the hospital. I don't know, man. I hope he make it, man. I really do hope he make it. Damn. Shit. But yeah, chat, we're gonna be back in the morning. We're gonna be back in the morning, chat. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Double tap the screen on your way out.